And day 3, set 5. Hera versus Leery. No surprise. Mezzo v. Mezzo on Arabia. Here we go. Hera in the blue playing as the Mayans up against Leery in the red as the Aztecs.
Yeah, so key differences here is the Mayans typically want to play more towards archers. Aztecs, they have more of a window for the man-at-arm into ranged units. And something that Leery's known for himself would be archers, right? So I'd be curious here. Typically what happens, Dash, is you have the Aztecs going for man-at-arms and feudal, and then they want their early range follow-up to include a lot of skirms as a counter to the archers. So, you know, walling is going to be important for Hera, particularly with that gold I'm seeing might be a little bit exposed. And then, you know, for Leery, it's going to be barracks timing. With 9 villagers start, we haven't seen as many men-at-arm plays. And Leery loves his archers, so maybe he also just goes archers. We'll see. Yeah, both players getting their deer in nice and early. Hera definitely prioritizing the walls already with those early houses right on the northern side. He's already thinking about how he can wall his base up nice and clean. Yeah, what's nice is the berries is normally a target area as well for the man-at-arms. So if for anyone who's like, oh no, the gold, it's actually not that big a deal. To have like one or the other on the back there is always something you can work with. But, you know, I was talking to a lot of the players about the adaptations they've had to make with the 9 villager start, because there is a sacrifice that's made with time. You just have 2 to 3 fewer minutes to do the things you would normally do in a standard start. And Hera agreed, everyone just like, yeah, well, what ends up happening is you don't have time to scout and push deer. Right. So we can kind of assume what they're going to go for. We're just going to push our deer, right? Which opens up some opportunities. Hera actually in his very first game in the group stage with Persians went for like 2 militia right away and killed a couple of villagers. So, you know, the potential's there, but at what point, I mean, these guys, they don't know, but they just know what the opponent's going for, it feels like. Now, all this said, both players have interesting base layouts from the perspective that they have one side that's very open. Yeah, right. And so it would require a very large wall if you want to get completely walled off. Loom already in for Leery and on the way up to the feudal age. Hera not too far behind with the Loom click for himself. Yep. And just now moving out to gold. Yep, absolutely. And we're going to see the uptime for Leery be faster here. And I'm not seeing a barracks just yet. So no men-at-arms. Seems like it'll be just archers. And I wanted to see, did Leery take berries? I think he did. Yeah. I don't even need to see, but we can glance for the viewers. Hera's gone for more of the newer age build for archers where you just delay the berries. Can make timings a bit awkward if you're getting like harassed early, but ultimately is really good for the ranges. Where's that turkey going? Yeah, I don't know why Hera is out there currently. I don't think he stole that at all. Can we see Hera scouting real quick, possibly? Yeah, his scout's just now moving forward, so I don't know, sending a turkey to the edge. Yeah, I mean, I think he just found it, and he's like, I don't need it right now, so might as well just scout a little bit more. But that is a little odd. Sure. Yeah, for Leery, though, the first one to get his scout forward, so going to get a good look at Hera's base and resource distribution. There goes the barracks now, just before feudal age is hit. Hera getting his barracks up as well. Only 1 villager over there on gold. Leery, no vills on gold just yet. Yeah, so Mayans have cheaper archers. Mayans also start with 1 more villager. If it's just archer opening, the way all the bonuses play out, I prefer the Mayans. Aztecs also don't get thumb ring. I mean, there's just things to think about for the long term here. So I think if Leery loses this game, there's an argument to be made. Didn't necessarily take advantage of the strength that Aztecs could have with their typical build. But again, it's Leery. You know what he's going to do regardless. Yeah, how about this, though? An extra Eagle Scout for Leery. And then the archery range going up now. Does produce 1 archer, perhaps swapping into skirms after that, unless he can get his gold count up a little bit more. Yeah, Aztecs do love their eagle spam. The Aztecs will produce their military a little bit faster here. So with eagles producing so slow in feudal age, it's typically 60 seconds in feudal age, and then that gets much faster in castle for all saves. If we are seeing the barracks and the archery range from both players producing here, the Aztecs will have the early edge. Spearman is an interesting investment in a Mezzo war. Yeah. Yeah, who added the Spearman? It was Leery. Oh, I think honestly it's just because he wants another unit. But yeah, that's, I mean, if you were new to the game, you look at that, you're like, both have pointy sticks. Sure. And one guy looks like a bird. You'd think it would hurt that guy more. We're thinking deep about this one. That really wouldn't scare me at all. But trying to justify it. Yeah. But yeah, either way, it's an extra unit, right? And if he doesn't feel like it's going to disrupt his eco and his overall plans too much, why not? You get an extra unit out onto the field. Hera continues with the walls in the north.
leaving the front of his base a little bit exposed, but can go ahead and defend that with some military units. Leery taking the opposite approach, walling off the front of his base first, and then he'll decide to focus on the back.
Yeah, but that extra unit is a unit that Hera might, you know, accidentally click here. Or
True.
It's just something he has to deal with as we see fletching now on the way for Leery.
This little hill is going to be so hugely important in front of this exposed gold from Hera. He's going to need to defend this with his life. Fletching already on its way, though, for Leery is going to make him a little bit more effective in these duels early on. Hera just clicking for it now, 20 seconds away.
Yeah, look at how much Hera has on this gold as well. He's got 8 on gold, which isn't uncommon in this type of matchup, but there's just a big difference between the two of them. Leery only with 2, and you could tell he's trying to pick off a villager here. I think she will die. It's almost like she accepted her fate there, but it was so the archers from Hera could get a shot. Hera weakened an archer in there, hasn't killed it yet. Leery killing 1, Dash.
Yeah, happy to get the 1. We've got a low health archer here for the side of Leery, but not yet focused down. There we go. Hera finds the kill. Now switching on to some of those Eagle Scouts, removes them. And so with a little bit of a meat shield for himself and recontrolling this hill in front of his gold.
Yeah, it's a kind of a weird fight, right? But it's so important. Every single unit here will snowball things. Now you're going to see the food count for Leery be much higher because he's prioritized that over the gold. Now most of his new villagers are going to head over to the gold. So I think if Hera's build, especially with the way these two play, wouldn't surprise me to see a market at some point from him and just have him use the additional gold and just buy his way up to the castle.
Yeah, but so far T90 playing out exactly to expectation. Like you said, it's the Aztec players who's investing more into the skirms while the Mayans player is trying to get those archer numbers up. And so the only real difference we have here is in the techs, right? We've got the archer armor upgrade for Leery, very important for the skirmishers, but we do have the infantry armor upgrade for Hera, trying to add a little bit more potency to his Eagle Scouts and how they can deal with those skirmishers.
I like Hera's Eagle number to hold against the skirms, honestly. I also like how he's brought forward full HP Eagle to see those upgrades. It's very common. You go forward, you click the army, you see if there's armor or attack, and there's both there. So Hera, he's in a good spot right now, honestly. And for Leery, I'm surprised that he's invested into armor and he hasn't tried to move forward at all here. It's like he's just defending, expecting the archers to sneak in at this point.
Yeah, dead even, or close to even in the KD. No eco units killed for either player, so Hera maintains his 1 villager lead that he started the game with. Walls continue to go up nice and slow. Both players playing with a tremendous amount of respect, it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely.
For their opponent. And Leery going for the big walls, though, as you can see on the minimap. So he really wants to, once he gets these down, he's going to have so much space to work with.
Yeah, I think this has gone perfectly for the Mayans. The Mayans wish to play into archer numbers. The Mayans, their weakness in the matchup would be a combination of man-at-arms and early skirm archer. Leery is not doing that. And Hera still keeping his archers at home, I think mainly because of the gold position. But he'll be happy to see this army, because if you see this army, you know that you're not going to get hit at home, at least just yet. And there's Hera selling all his stone, buying his way up.
Yeah, got the market up first. Will go ahead and sell the stone, get the food, and on his way to Castle Age. Leery still 100 gold away, 300 food away. But in that time, will extend a small villager lead for himself. That's a bit of the trade-off there. An engagement in the middle of the map, not too much to be gained. As the Eagle Scouts are largely just tracking this military from Leery moving forward.
Leery can do some incredible things here. I know there's 6 Eagles, but there's still Eagle Scouts. If he can whittle down those archer numbers to about 5 or 6, then suddenly his situation is going to look a whole lot stronger. So I'm excited to see what Hera tries to do. You almost need to act like you're going to take these fights here with the Eagles.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he will.
And I think you could, though, once forging completes, because then all of a sudden you are hitting pretty hard, and now the Eagle number is up to 7 with 3 in the queue.
Isn't that so funny? Hera literally ran away, and so did Leery. He's like, no, that's a lot of Eagles.
Want to debate him in. Doesn't want to give up this hill. This is going to be where a lot of the game centers around.
So interestingly hesitant here from Leery. And it has been a hesitant opening by Aztec standards here.
Yeah, it looks like a 3rd barracks, though, going up, I think, back there for Hera. So very much, yeah, exactly, fainting towards Eagle production here in the Castle Age.
Resources collected has been better for Hera this game. Obviously started with 1 more villager. Resources also last longer, so it makes sense with like sheep, deer, boars, all those things, that this would make a difference. And Hera's Eagles are about to have 7 attack because he'll be in Castle Age. So this is your time, Leery, to try and just kill every archer. You know you're going to lose your skirmishers, but I think Hera's going to end up with a massive advantage here in Castle Age.
Fantastic timing for Hera, recognizing exactly when the Castle Age is going to come in, and he'll get that attack advantage on his Eagle Scouts. Absolutely decimates the skirmisher force from Leery, and now has permission to move forward with those archers. He's going to look for some real damage, even coming forward with a Siege Workshop. He really wants to put the pressure on.
Yeah, Leery, I mean, he's adding the barracks now. He's going to try and go for Eagles, but such a poor opening by his standards here with Aztecs of all civs, and Hera's just punishing him so hard right now. The siege is the perfect timing, zero hesitation on that. The tricky thing now is he going to be able to get through and find damage?
Yeah, Leery feels the deficit that he's in, even going up to 4 barracks to try and match production here when he reaches the Castle Age. Going to have to make sure he throws down a couple more houses, buy himself the time. Plenty of villagers on goal to sustain that Eagle production. Immediate Eagle Warrior click and the second armor upgrade for our Aztecs player.
I want to see a ram here from Hera, because I don't think the siege really helps you against Eagles. I think what it does do, well, this game might be over really fast actually, but in the event that
incredible pressure out of Hera.
In the event that Hera doesn't finish the game here, I think a ram actually makes the most sense to just take out a barracks from the Aztecs.
We went from 0-0 Eco KD to 5-0 in favor of Hera, and he's broken through the walls, forcing a tower down from Leery. It's all or nothing here. He's got to hold in this moment if he wants to stand a chance in this game. The tower does go up, but Hera's looking for the dive, and the villager picks. 8-0 is the Eco KD at this point, and he won't stop there.
Yeah, Leery with a little smile there.
Woo!
He kind of like moved his head to the side like, okay, that wasn't so good for me. But just look at that for a second. 19 Eagles versus 18 created. It was the crossbows that made the difference. Listen, we have high standards for Leery. If you play it like that, you make a spearman and you don't use the additional gold you start with Aztecs and try and go man-at-arm into skirm and have like early pressure. That's better for the Mayans.
And, dude, market play into faster castle, and then
so
finding
clean.
that fight.
Super
as soon
clean.
as you hit
Super
castle,
clean.
like, honestly, that clear-up was so big for him to get that surround and find, you know, the positioning in that fight. What a beautiful game, lightning fast out of Hera to get victory in map number 1 on Arabia, Mayans versus Aztecs.
And very bold in how Hera approached that. I'm sure he was so happy when he saw the opening, but remember, his gold was very far forward. He didn't take the back gold. He just held to that gold. I felt like he had good vision and awareness from Leery to go forward at times to see exactly what Leery was committing to. But there was just such a big gap from when Leery researched armor on his skirms. If you research armor on your skirms in Feudal, or let's just say if you match the armor, if you max out on armor with your ranged units, it's almost immediately to force fights against the archers, because they're then doing 1 damage against your skirmishers there. He researched armor and just sat at home, and that 100 food could have been an extra 40 seconds for him. It could have been led to 5 or 6 archer kills. We got a bit of big head action there.
5 head right there.
That's what he felt like after that game.
Yeah, it's a real 5 head. I mean, nobody.
Like.
I like your point about the archer armor and then not being willing to take the fight, because that goes back to my comment about respect. Almost feels like over-respecting in that moment when you could have challenged for that hill.
I also think, like, I'm thinking, when's the last time I saw Leery go man-at-arms archers with Aztecs, or last time I played Aztecs in general? I think it just might not be something he's super comfortable with, right? He'll play Britons, he'll play Mayans, he'll play Ethiopians. He goes open straight archers a lot of the time. Man-at-arms into archers, not necessarily his thing. And I think Hera believes that to be a little off meta as well. So it was a good game. Good Arabia game. We made the joke that they'd maybe agreed upon Arabia for game number 1 to get themselves warmed up, but Leary's going to have to choose one of his other maps now.
I hope he can warm up in that amount of time, because just like that, we're moving on to map number 2. This was Leary's choice here in the red as the Dravidians on African reed beds up against Hera as the Japanese. So you would call that out. Japanese very likely to be played here on African reed beds. We just saw what the Dravidians could do in the hands of the Viper on this map. We'll see if Leery can accomplish the same.
This might be the only matchup where we see both players go mill the middle. Because you know the Dravidians have that unique build that Viper showed, and I think Japanese are actually better with the mills in the middle anyways, right? Because of the cheaper mills. I think the Japanese fish is so strong that you should probably be thinking that, but
tough call to make. I'll be honest,
way.
I was skeptical watching that last match with the eco number lead that Nicov had built, just by virtue of getting the fishing ships out. I even turned to TaToH and I was like, is it really worth it to forego your dock for that center mill? But, I mean, in the end, it did work out.
I think in an ideal world, you kind of do both, but with the uptime that Viper had gone for, he was hoping to kill a bit more than he did in that moment. And thankfully for him, he was able to loop around to the fishing ships, which is what makes this map really unique, because those fishing ships that you'll have in that corner, they can be hit by land units.
Yeah.
And that's not a good feeling.
Well, and we saw Nicov wall up that entire backside, right? To protect against the possible man-at-arms. But also Leery here is going to go with the opposite approach of the Viper. Dock first, up in the north. Then maybe we'll extend down for a mill and those shorefish in the middle.
Now, remember, the big talking point always in this faster start with 9 villagers is the scouting. And Hera has done this before, where he kind of abuses the fact that their opponent is not going to be scouting and tries to surprise them. So if Leary's trying to do both, if he's trying to add fishing ships and then starts to send villagers towards the middle at any point here, he could lose all those villagers. And if he's not prepping walls and his resources as well, there could be problems. So all that said, look at Hera's vision right now. Like, Hera, he's not going to really know too much, and he's actually going to run right.
Come on, you know exactly where your opponent's TC is on this map.
You're right,
Do
Dash.
you not? You know exactly where it is.
It's one of the rare maps in any tournament where the TC position's kind of fixed. If your pond's in the south, your opponent's pond is in the north, and the TC should be there as well. He was unlucky. He didn't see a tree. Oof. He didn't see a yurt, not a house, a yurt. But oof, that makes this whole little drush here he's going for so much less
Lucky
effective.
for him, he keeps it alive, so he can at the very least still get some scouting information. But yeah, a lot less potent in terms of taking early fights. With that, Barracks up, though, is going to start producing the militia and gives himself the permission to bring 5 villagers out to the middle of the map, drop those cheap Japanese vills, and start bringing in that food. We'll see, though, what he decides to do now with a weaker scout and where he decides to send that early pressure.
This is like, the build itself is still really good. I'm not sure. Initially, I think he was trying to rush in Dark Age. Then he had the resources to click up, so he's on the way to Feudal Age. Now Hera's not on gold, so he can't make the 3rd militia. This isn't really something I've seen before. I think some of his plans have kind of gone out the window here, but it is pressure. It is aggression of some kind, but he's going to be up against it if those fishing ships remain.
Yeah, well, and if Leery doesn't follow Nikov's lead and wall off this back swampy area, 2 militia will be plenty effective against 3 fishing ships.
Look at this villager. She was there before, and she was worried she was going to die to a full HP scout. And now she's like, you know what? It's good to be able to work again, guys.
Well, she can deal with a low HP scout, but again, she can't deal with 2 militia on her own.
Oh, God.
So this concerns me, because you take a look at the mini-map and you see
what is
blue
this? Dots. Nice little wall here. Hera, you have to delete your stable or your mill to save the villager. No, you don't. Never mind. I lied.
Ooh. Leery wants a fight, though, and he doesn't want to let this stable go up nice and early. The militia do make it to the back, and the scout continues to harass the fishing ships. Oh, it's going to be chaos.
It is
going to be chaos. 1 villager goes down already for Hera. Great snipe by Leery, and still hasn't been able to complete this stable. That's a lot of wood invested for no gain just yet.
Yeah, seriously, he has had 0 follow-up. He has the 2 militia. I see one of them in the north. I don't even know where the other one is.
It's on its way. It's still making its way over there. But hey, the harassment continues. Vil goes down in the north, and now the fishing ships are under fire. And so very likely that all of them go down. Big investment from Leery. That's no longer going to be bringing in any food. Stable finally goes up here for Hera in the middle, but he continues to be harassed. Another villager goes down to Leery's scout.
Leery just tried to click one of Hera's vills and click the shorefish. They're working on the food. I think
it's tough, man. I can't even imagine trying to micro through all of this in the middle. You're going to start mining stone randomly at some point. We're chasing villagers away here in the middle of the map. A spearman out onto the field to try and deal with this scout. Multiple spearmen at that, and now a dock being dropped in the south by Hera to start the fishing eco.
We can already see the value of having your starting scout on full HP, though, right? Hera was able to do some harassment on the fish. He actually killed all of them in the end. But that starting scout for Leery is the only one he's had, and that's helped kill a few villagers.
Yet another engagement here. Spearmen and villagers. doing quick work over Leery's villagers. At this point,
Man.
the KD for the eco units is 5-2 in Hera's favor. He barely gets away with that one. Lucky to keep him alive. And Hera goes right back to the shorefish.
Leery has no food income. He has an idle TC and has had it for over 1 minute.
Yeah, 3 on food.
Yeah, and like, I don't know what he's taking at home. Like, this could be another really fast game here. Hera's shorefish economy, combined with a couple fishing ships that he's adding now, will be extremely helpful for him. Leery needs to archer micro, and Hera sees it. Hera's going to drop a tower.
Yeah, dropping a tower. Even brought these militia all the way back
and the
from
weak
the
Bill.
north.
She's got food in her hands.
Oh, no.
And she's coming to fight. She's going to whack people with the fish.
I love it, man. Confidence. Get away with it. You can get away with it if you're confident.
She is confident.
She is. Militia trying to push away these archers and the spearmen, and will do just that. It looks like the tower's going to go up, and unfortunately that villager did go down for Leery. 7-2 is the Eco KD. Massive lead for Hera, 25-20.
Yeah, this is swung quite heavily here. Hera's 2 scouts wisely left the middle where the spearmen were, goes to Leery's base.
That's another
That's
Vil
going to be
pick.
another Vil pick, and the Eco KD 8-2, total KD 10-4. Hera just needs to defend from, what is that, 2 spearmen and 1 archer in his base at the moment, and I think then he'll be good.
Yeah, 16 on food for Hera, 7 on food for Leery. At this point, I'm not really certain. This is where I go back to the idea of that you said archers, and just like it might be time to just go full wood, full gold.
Yep.
And triple range.
Yeah, just YOLO it. And you're Leery as well, right? So just make as much as you can. There is a timing before Hera will get skirms, and the starting scout, like, he's been the MVP. Without that guy, Leery would have done no damage this game. Their hero is helping, and I don't think Hera was able to kill another villager there, but militia!
Okay, diving under the TC, gonna throw those away. So a couple kills picked up for Leery. Is getting some good harassment in Hera's base as well with those archers on the berries. But still no more Vil kills for him. So unfortunately not able to close that gap at all. It's now 33 eco to 22.
I want to see Hera make a fire galley right now. He has had fishing ships for so long in the south, and I think that's where Leery's going. If he keeps those fish alive, now he's Japanese actually, they'll never die, but I still think a fire galley there could be helpful. Then his advantage remains here as he has the middle fish control, and he's got the southern fish control. So normally one player takes the middle, the other one has the dock. This time, one player has a dock, and he has the middle.
Okay, bringing back a couple of skirms to deal with this, but far more archers coming in from Leery, so I don't think it's going to be enough, and ultimately it looks like Hera will be losing his fish back here. But like you say, Japanese fishing ships, man, they just live forever.
Yeah, fire galley will come out, and skirmishers were already there. Resources collected actually isn't as big as I thought it would be here. 500 resource lead for Hera, and Leery's been extremely creative with his army movement.
Yeah.
I think he's also in the middle at the moment, to be honest with you.
He's found 2 more Vil kills throughout all of this, so now it's an 8-4 disparity in that Eco KD, and yeah, harassing these shorefish villagers in the middle of the map, making them much less effective.
And Hera doesn't even notice that. Like, that will chip away at those villagers quite
He's
quickly.
house walling back at home. There's just so much action around the map for both of these players to have to focus on.
Oh my god, and he notices it, thankfully for him. He actually can't conveniently take the shorefish and dash. I think maybe Leery's got a chance all of a sudden.
Yeah, pushed all the way out of the middle, it seems. And fletching just completed here for Leery, so might even be willing to take this fight straight up with the skirmishers if he can get himself back to this hill.
Yeah. Let's see, Hera. Hera, you have the better economy now.
Oh,
Just
scouts,
conserve
though.
your
Look at the 5
numbers.
scouts coming in for Hera. He stopped tracking the archers, though. Okay, he has a sense of where they've gone. He's going to be able to find these and run them down. I think it's an easy clear up at this point with those scouts.
I like the decision from Hera. He almost left with those Vils. Instead, he's going to mine stone. I think he'll just mine enough stone to drop another tower in the middle so he can take more shorefish.
Yeah, definitely. Just give yourself enough safety with 2 towers.
There is a hole there.
Yep. 4 archers with fletching. That can do some real damage, and right now Hera's focused on cleaning up these archers. Does get the walls down, though, and can reposition the villagers while the skirmishers come around to deal with the defense.
That was very well played. Blah, 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 blah,
Yes,
blah,
I
blah,
agree.
blah, blah, blah.
I concur.
Sorry.
Well said.
Yeah, thank you. Best case. Oh, God, it's still
my
happening.
goodness. Hey, take
It's
a breath.
still-
Take a breather. Take a breather.
Okay, we're good. Great
You
defense there
breathe
from
because
Hera.
the players don't have time to breathe, okay?
What I tried to say and my brain just did not compute any of the information, is that Hera just needed to defend here, right?
Yeah.
Leery's been looking for damage. He's been desperate for damage due to his economy. And so the Archer clear up in the south as well as that quick wall was perfect.
And now we can take a look back at the resources, and you can see the gold climbing for Hera as well as 17 on food. I believe this is the time that he can start considering his transition towards the Castle Age. Has defended long enough that the eco lead is substantial enough.
Yep.
With this cleanup as well, sure, loses a few scouts, but to remove the archers from the map, he's very comfortable.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Hera has 500 stone. I don't know if he's going to try and go samurai or what, but he could place defensive towers anywhere. Some players will use the market to sell some of that and buy food.
I'll tell you this, I do appreciate, though, the continued approach from Leery. He understands that he's on the back foot, that he's the one working from a deficit, so it's continued military production. He has got to get some damage in. That's his only way to get back into this game.
Yeah, and sometimes in Hera's position, you're going to undermake army, or you have this weird tendency, if you have the army, to send it all forward to counterattack. But when you have the lead, keep the lead, right? And skirmishers are not a great counterattacking unit, but look at the rush here from Leery. He's going to bring the Villes.
He's bringing the whole town.
Seriously, I mean,
everybody's on their way. And actually, as Hera goes for that second tower that we called for a little bit earlier, doesn't look like he'll be able to get it up because these villagers are going to batter down the first. All of that said, we've got skirms and scouts moving forward for Hera, attempting to repair this tower and at the same time still build the one on the left-hand side. But I think Leery might have the numbers here to push him back.
Yeah, I think you almost need to, like, place your tower at Hera's base, though, right? Like, you still think he's on the way to Castle Age. You're still not denying gold. Keep going here, Leery. Keep running.
Absolutely.
And just deny the wood line or something.
Alrighty, yeah, that's a very exposed wood line at this point. He's got plenty of villagers forward. There goes the tower. Lovely positioning for it. Very aggressive, but Hera quick to drop a counter tower of his own and only a minute away from the Castle Age.
I think Hera might lose a villager to a wolf on the left-hand side. Vodka hates me. Woo, woo, woo.
No, he's got all four.
All right, unimportant. Anyways, Hera's going over to the gold. Tower's going to go up. Hera has gold on the left. He's also, interestingly enough, placing a mining camp on this gold, which I don't think he can secure right now.
No, he's probably going to have to back away from this one, although we do have the first armor upgrade for the cavalry coming in and 20 seconds away from the Castle Age, and so I feel like a couple of knights produced, and all of a sudden this aggression from Leery gets completely stopped in its tracks.
Yep, Hera doesn't have bloodlines just yet. He does have the armor, though. That's the big one. Like you said, a couple of knights, and he should be in a great spot here. Deep breaths for Hera. Just needs to close this out, and we knew it would be a competitive best of 5, or thought it would be a competitive best of 5.
A demo. He's producing a demo. Let's wait for it, everybody. Shh.
Dolphin, shut up. Okay, wait for it. Wait for. Oh, please.
Yes.
He's gonna kill the fire galley and get so confident
he's
here.
So baited right now. He doesn't know. Oh, okay. 6 cents. 6 cents.
Way to go, Leery.
All right, well done.
Way to
well
go.
done. I'll
Way
give
to
you that
go.
one. Bodkin on its way here for Hera. Leery continues to control the middle and has at least gotten his villagers onto the shorefish there, but with the first knight out onto the field and a few more in the queue, elite skirm on the way, it's looking scary for Leery.
Yep, seriously is. This is interesting from Hera, just completely left his own base. He knew the army was there, but losing a couple of villagers when you're this far ahead isn't the biggest deal. I like it because you can put all the pressure immediately on Leery, deny him from Castle Age, and we have had 2 stomps so far in this series.
Lightning fast games.
Yeah.
Lightning fast games from Hera. Just absolute. Look at that. The head gets
bigger
every single time.
Woo.
From 5 head to 6 head. How far can we go?
Oh,
That's
man.
the question. That's the question.
This has been the can't miss moment of this series so far, Dash. Well, here's the deal. I mean, game 1, I kind of questioned some aspects of Leery's play. None from Hera. Hera played clean, consistent, and calm. This particular game, it started off poor for Hera. His scout was incredibly weak.
Yeah.
And the militia were kind of mistimed. And then suddenly he was able to sort it out. And honestly, as poor as it was to lose his HP from the scout, still killed the fishing ships.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
He didn't make man-at-arms, still killed the fishing ships. And then he had shorefish control and just played better in the mid-game. So it's been a rough start here for Leery so far.
Yeah, and I'd say it'd be one thing if, for example, that was Hera's second pick Civ against your last pick Civ,
Yep.
but that was second pick Civ for both of these players.
Yep.
And so we're, again, similarly in lockstep in that regard, and now Leery needs to mount the reverse sweep. 3 in a row while Hera is already on set point. It is Leery's choice of maps. So Frigid Lake, Kawasan, Hippo Arena still remain. I have to assume he'll go for one of his 2 home maps here.
Yep, you would think so. Though he did lose the first game and then chose African Reed.
Yeah.
So, which was Hera's pick, right? So he had some familiarity with that, apparently. Yeah, I think Leery's looked really good on Frigid Lake and Kawasan.
Frigid Lake Byzantines. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm thinking that is a really good guess here. Yeah, I actually might like to see Byzantines Kawasan. No, Frigid Lake Byzantines, because those fires just control one body of water instead of 2.
Kawasan?
Yeah, maybe. I could see it. I'm a little uncertain.
Could be Lithuanians or Hindustanis there, because I imagine Burgundians is your Hippo Arena choice.
Yep. I think that would be the easy play. That or Hindustanis there.
Yeah.
But you got to take it game by game, right? We've seen instances already in these best of 5s where players gone up 2-0. Looks like they're going to get the easy sweep, and then all of a sudden we're in a game 5. So,
and many of our sets here have gone all the way to the end.
Yeah. Now, this is group stage, but I remember, I think, Red Bull 3 quarterfinals, Hera up 2-0. As the famous Hera Longsword Huns game. For those that watched that, Leery came back to win 3-2. So Leery's done it before against Hera in a best of 5. But again, there's consistency right now for Hera. Leery's kind of all over the place. So my money's that Hera's going to win the series right now.
I hear villagers working away, so here we go. A set point for Hera, and on to map 3 in our best of 5. It will be the Berbers for Hera on Frigid Lake in the blue, up against Leery as the Lithuanians in the red. So some curveballs here.
Yeah, Lithuanians getting the extra food, so their start is amazing. Leery actually was the first player to choose not to dock. I think he will end up docking in this matchup, but it's worth noting that he's comfortable skipping the water. Though I should say, to be more specific, he just didn't add fish in Dark Age, went to the water later on. And got a bit of a scout fight. I don't think Hera's villagers were... Wait, actually, he's Berbers.
Yeah, they're nice.
It might be an intended strategy to test out, especially if you're up 2-0, to deny the opponent's dock and or just Vill rush with your scout.
Do you just go dock his side of the pond?
I think you're waiting for the villager and hoping to deny it.
He's looking for him right now.
Yeah, this is the problem would be you've got to find it quick here. He's looking all around. There she is.
Okay, he finds her, and Leery did opt for only one villager out to the middle, which is generally the consideration, is whether or not you want to send 1 or 2. The dock starts to go up, but the villager arrives here from Hera, and Leery will be forced back.
Yeah, and it's a faster Vill, and you can't wall on most of this terrain.
Oh, he's going for it, but unfortunately, no loom either means boom, easy snipe. Another delay here from Hera, and yeah, I'll dock where you docked, my friend.
This is something that Hera's going to talk so much smack about after this series, right? Like, it's such an interesting strategy, and at this point, like, you're going to be up a fishing ship, and you're already up a villager. He didn't even research
loom.
Yeah, he didn't even research loom himself. They're really creative stuff here.
So dock is up here for Hera. Leery does get the walls down, so it looks like he is going to be able to get his... Oh, no! Hera broke through! Harasses him off once again.
But Hera doesn't have loom, right? So Leery's just assuming loom is in. Hera's villagers should
down to 50 gold. So did he click it and we missed it?
It's probably in queue at the moment.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's in queue, and it's coming in right now, but you're exactly right. Doesn't have it just yet, but he's bringing more of the boys forward. 5 villagers from Hera to try and prevent this dock. Leery does get it up, but now he's in full retreat mode, and the chase is on. Will the Berber villagers be able to get it? I think he's going for a block here.
He is going for a block.
He's going for a block here. Will
he's
he get
trying.
It?
Oh, man, we should really switch to, like, POV here and see what's going on. Of course, it's green for Leery, and I missed it right there. But he was, he wasn't looking at it.
No, he was looking. He wanted it. He's feeling himself today. He's feeling himself today.
And villagers could take the food and drop it off at the dock. So Hera is actually stealing the food.
Just turn around and smack this fishing ship.
From Leery's fish. And now Leery's like, hey, guys, do you mind if I have some?
Look at this.
Look at this. They're just peacefully sharing the fish.
God. Who brings 6 villagers forward? It's wild. Now moving on to berries. Never even scouted his sheep in the back, because who needs them?
He did lose his scout, which is a big deal. Total resources collected, very even. And being faster to feudal age. Oh, my God. Being faster to feudal age with a demo. right there.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
How much food is left on that? Please be like a bug where there's 1,000 food. Ah!
Talk about a way to recover in the series, though, man. Like a 5-bill demo.
Man. Leary's biggest mistake was taking food from that fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs
You're right. He's giving him a reason to spread out a lot sooner. Second. Dude, more villagers are coming forward.
He is going to nope out of here
No
so
way
hard.
he's just going to Vill attack and try and rush this dock down. No?
No. Well,
he's doing it.
I mean, yes, he is doing it.
50 seconds until Feudal Age is reached here for Leery. Hera still doesn't have the food to click up himself. Oh, and he's going to wall his Vills in order to get the repairs, and so he won't be able to get this dock down. This is a huge investment of time now out of Hera for what won't be a building raised.
Yeah, he could tower it. Honestly, I actually don't mind the tower when he's in Feudal. But again, you need to leave with these villagers when you see Feudal Ages in.
I was going to say 8 seconds to go. And then he did batter through the walls, though. And so once again, Leery has to retreat away. Is he
going to stay? This would be so sick if this goes down before the demo.
Did he do the math?
I think he did.
Who?
I think Hera did
the math. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think this dock goes down.
He didn't do the math, but it's going to work, I think.
This dock goes down. This dock goes down.
He's coming up for the repairs. Watch Leary's face. Look at it. Look at it. He's like, no.
Oh, my God.
No.
Dude, get that gas hammer away.
No.
Oh, maybe Leery did the math. Did Leery do the math, or did Hera do the math? The demo comes out. Boom! It was only 2 kills. Maybe we hyped it up a little bit too much. And the dock goes down. Low health Vills in retreat from the Berber player.
Leary's laughing. Hera's like, I don't give a crap. Oh, my God.
Another dock goes up in the north for Leery. He relocates his fishing ships, and with the earlier feudal time, a fire galley is already out onto the field and starting to harass those fishing ships.
So the normal opening is win water or go land. This has shifted into winning water, where Hera will have 2 docks. But there are 3 fishing ships working for Leery. He has collected 300 more resources, and I think it's safe to say, as funny as crazy as it is you should probably use most of your villagers to collect resources.
Yeah, well, okay, you say winning water with 2 docks. He has no gold. So he can only...
He didn't do the math.
Yeah, he didn't do the math. He produced 1 fire galley. He's just moving 2 Vills onto gold now. He's not going to be able to produce another military unit on water for quite some time.
Yeah, that is really rough. And the barracks is already coming up for Leery. So he's in a position where he has more on water and can use some excess wood to maybe go for a range or something. And I think we know there's quite a few weak villagers over at Hera's base, and Hera has no scout.
Yeah, and through all of this, it's 27 to 23 in terms of the eco counts. We have 2 fire galleys out onto the field for Leery to protect those 3 fishing ships of his. And through all of that craziness in the early game, Leery has found himself an advantage and a foothold in this series.
This is an interesting one to go for the stable because he doesn't have that much food income, and there's a risk that he could lose his fish. But I kind of like it because you're Lithuanian, so you want excess scouts anyways in the long term. It's probably faster to get your opponent's base because Hera could be walling right now. Honestly, Hera's map is not the best for walling. All his wood is generated in the back corner. He's got nothing on the front there.
Yeah,
to really
that's
like, wall
actually
with. That might be why he went so excessive.
Going to
with
demand
rushing.
a lot of attention if you want to get walls up effectively with this base. Look at that. Yeah, he's even going for some kind of unique walls because he doesn't know what else to do in that regard. But we've got that stable up. Another scout in production for Leery. We'll see what he can get done with that. A lot of gold in the bank currently.
Yep.
So needs to balance that out a little bit as we see some engagements here on water. With that second dock and a proper number of villagers on gold, Hera does have the fire galley numbers, but there is a demo. Will he get a nice shot here onto all 3? Hera splits away. Leery thinks better of going for that demo hit, and one of his fishing ships is under fire.
Your opponent's been in feudal faster. They have 2 docks. Actually, is it just 1? Anyways, they've been able to produce on water for a long period. There's only 2 fires there. This should send alarm bells in Hera's mind that something's going on here. That's a fantastic demo from Leery. He's still behind on water. There should be scouts moving forward now. I see a red dot at Hera's base. He ran into the TC, didn't he? It almost looks like that's the worst possible spot he could have gone. And he's still got more scouts out. They just hasn't made it over there yet.
Yeah, 4 scouts on the field currently, but they haven't been able to group up just yet. Here's 3 of them now starting to loop in together, and the 4th making its way across the center of the map. But all fishing ships go down here, and just like that, we're evened up in the eco numbers.
Yeah, and Hera, because he saw the scout run into his town center, He has had the time to plop down that barracks, and he's adding some spearmen here. So I'm sure Leery can still kill villagers, but good job from Hera to stabilize this game after the crazy opening.
Yeah, I do like the scout play, though, because it is so difficult to farm on this map from safety.
Yep, agreed. Also, that gold count is looking really good for Leery if he maybe wants to buy some food. He's got more on food than Hera. I like the tower from Hera as well, but as you said, Dash, these villagers are trying to go somewhere to farm, and the scout just did a little loop-de-loop here.
Market going up at home, I have to believe here from Leery to use some of that gold to make his way towards the castle age, and forcing up that tower is big because it means your opponent can't sell their stone either to match you in that castle age time or even drop TCs unless they now buy or mine some back once they reach the castle age.
Yeah, we got a couple fishing ships coming out for Hera. There's an instance here where there will be a demo coming out of Leery's dock, and he will go for fish. So I'll be curious to see if Hera's spreading out his fishing ships. The market's been used, all the stone's been sold, but you do have Leery on the way to Castle Age, whereas Hera's sitting below 100 food in the bank.
Nowhere close.
Yep.
Nowhere close.
He made 4 spearmen. That's a lot. For a player that can quick wall as well as he can, I think you normally make like 2.
Well, what's interesting...
Oh, they're trapped. They're trapped.
Trap them in just like that.
Oh, my God.
Welcome to Leery Zoo.
Oh, man. Leery's just probably so confused by this. This is not a common occurrence, but the creativity from Hera there again. And nice demo there from Leery. Ay. What a... Not the series that I expected, but I'm digging it. It's super messy.
Yeah, it's the series we didn't know we wanted.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe this. Hera with a few fishing ships out onto the field is going to look to protect them with the... But, hey, low health fire galleys does mean he takes the win on water here, and now all of a sudden these fishing ships are under threat. Bloodlines coming in for Leery. Castle Age 1 minute away. Hera still a light years behind.
Oh, and here come the spears.
Ooh, I like it.
Hey, is he going to sit the one in that one-tiled choke point just in case that Leery tries to leave? Leery should try and leave. Well,
he might just assume that it was rewalled on the back end.
Absolutely.
And so he's going to take the fight, but will lose all 4 of these scouts in the process. So a nice little cleanup there for Hera.
What's kind of funny is when that market completed, Hera really needed to use it. But because he was planning it as a trap market and not like to actually use it, he's not. Like he's got 700 gold and 450 food.
A ton of wood too.
Yeah, that's a market to Castle Age situation if I've ever seen one, and he's going to do that now.
There it is, yeah.
I think he's missing his second building. He's missing his second building.
Yeah, he's bringing it up just now, and it will be a stable to get to that second building. 3 villagers forcing it up, but even further delayed in his Castle Age timing as a result. And you can see the walls flying up, these big walls, because he knows that the night pressure is about to come in.
Yeah, he needs to. And if there's one tile hole here, it might be game over. We've got double monastery from Leery with Lithuanians. They already produce faster. And he wants those relics, and he maybe just wants to move forward and start converting things.
I like it. He says, you won dominantly in the first 2 games. It's my turn to do the same here in game number 3. Has scouted a few of those relics, and so with total map control, shouldn't have too much issue bringing them in and raising the attack value of his cavalry units.
Really good job, though, right? Like, how many times do we see players wall with 5 villagers instead of 10 in there? Like, I mean, at desperate times, desperate times call for desperate measures.
There it is.
Saying so. That's exactly what happened there for Hera.
And we got Horsecaller coming in and Castle Age on the way. No farming upgrades for Leery though, but Bosa, so plenty of wood income.
The left side is the most annoying place to attack because I don't think you can place a wall behind that because of the shoreline.
That's a good point, but he does have 4 spearmen there waiting to greet those knights upon entry. Yep, Leery quickly reverses, and Hera replaces the palisade.
Yeah, that was so cool how Hera just stood there for a second and brought the villager over.
Yep. A couple of pokes there, a little bit of damage onto the knights, but 6 knights now, Lithuanian knights at that. Kind of patrolling out in front of the base. I'm sure those monks are already on the way towards those relics.
Is he going for the relics in the middle when there's an enemy fire galleys there?
And also, I think that Hera saw that with his dock vision, so scouts coming out to look for the monk, but just passing. Doesn't quite find it. There you go. Oh, rerouting. Not so much.
It is bold.
Dude, this is ninja level monk. Actually,
Okay.
and yeah, Leary's like, I think he knows where I am,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm just going to go elsewhere. Oh, he's going for the one actually all the way over here to the northeast.
I saw Villese lose 7 monks to like 3 scouts earlier today, so players have not necessarily been protecting their monks when Lithuanians are being played, because you're just so desperate for those relics that you just hope your opponent's not going to be there, right?
Yeah. Relic picked up, though, and on its way back. A second TC dropped that home for Leery. He's got such an advantage in Castle Age timing that even with the bigger military force, he's also able to extend to the second TC before his opponent.
Lycav's on the way. It's not in yet. I think one of the scouts will go down, but good job from Hera here. He produced these scouts way ahead of time, and he prevents that relic from being collected.
Yeah, gets 2 monk snipes, double monastery for Hera as well. He wants to contest those relics, and like you say, bloodlines, armor, and light cav all about to finish. He does not want to let this Lithuanians player get too out of control in the relic count.
Yeah, and what's it going to be now? It's 1 for Leery. He could easily get 2 in the south. I think there's even a 3rd coming home, so that's the perfect start with the relics. He also did just scout the fact that Hera's on double monastery, so I think I actually stop making knights, and I simply go scouts. There's no need to get more knights. You already have more knights. The only way you lose this game is if you donate knights and you're not killing the enemy's monks.
Agreed, especially at this point when you actually know that your opponent is walled as well, right?
Yeah,
So it's not like you could get tremendous raiding potential in with those knights. And so, yeah, swap to the scouts, play the monk battle, and slowly build your eco lead with that second TC.
It's just such an unnatural feeling because you're getting the relics for attack on your knights.
Right.
You know, so it's an interesting
Look
conversation.
at this, the light cav swooping around, finding a good positioning and looking to take out all 3 of these monks. What a costly fight here for Leery, because Hera does get them all and gets away with both of his light cav.
Hera can come back in this game if it's just full commitment from Leery to monks and knights. Hera's got 4 monks. He's going to be advancing forward here shortly. He's also got the demo waiting perfectly in the middle of that pond. I'm excited to see what that turns into.
I don't know. We've been baited by potential demos in this series already.
We have.
So I'm going to try and let... Ooh, okay, gets the delete there and doesn't donate a knight over. 4 monks here for Hera, looking for their next move, but a 3rd TC now being dropped for Leery back at home.
The TC is huge because you can hop in and out of those TCs with your monks, and it gives Leery a bit of time. Not to mention, obviously, he's going to be producing quite a few villagers. Hera just 1 TC. I like the approach, though. You're up 2-0. And you already know your opponent has knights and is ahead of you there, so just focus on army, use the cheap stable units of the Berbers, and hope for the best here.
Yeah, it's got to be 4 relics, though, at home for Leery. It means that those look at the attack on those knights without even forging in just yet. I do agree with you, though. The 1 TC play has got to be it, and so I'd be looking for a villager or 2 to be coming forward, possibly to drop a siege workshop and start pressuring the TC and monasteries that are out here at the front.
Demo coming out now from Leery. So there's going to be 2 demos on the field, 1 from each player, and the Lycav and the Knights are going to engage, but you can't get too close here.
Yeah.
If you get too close, there's monks.
Attempted raid on the gold there. Now a retreat to avoid the conversions. Leery still looking for him, though. Now it's all down to the monk micro, and it's hard to tell who's coming out on top. The light cav coming forward for both players. A couple of conversions coming through. Will Hera keep his monks alive? It looks like all of them go down, though, to Leery's light cav, and Leery still has a few monks alive behind this.
Yeah, but there's also not a ton of army here, but the army that is here for Leery should be much stronger. He will save most of his monks in the TC. He'll obviously be producing more, and still the clock is ticking for Hera because Leery has more villagers.
Yeah, Hera had the numbers at the beginning of the fight, but unfortunately doesn't come out on top, in part because of those attack upgrades, or rather the relic upgrades that Leery has. And so, but hey, a little bit of an advantage taken in forcing him off of that forward gold.
Also, a 4th TC. Sometimes when you're in the mindset of create villagers all the time, the 4th TC can lead you not being able to create Lycav. Still haven't seen much from him. And Hera's going to snipe a monk. He's going to convert a knight. He's going to snipe another monk. Is this game actually going to be winnable for Hera?
Military swinging in his favor. 18-9 is the count, with that 4th TC attempting to go up, but Hera finds it, and he's going to get some Vil picks here. In fact, that TC will be delayed as of yet.
It's the army count that matters the most here. And again, another monk hops out, and it immediately gets killed. hopped out to right in front of the knight, and now there's
back
no
at home,
golden
though.
come.
I see blinking back at home for Hera. Perhaps he's too focused on the front. And villagers are going down to some knight raids.
And
underneath the gold here, he's unaware and hasn't reacted just yet.
Yeah, that's true. So, Leery, this is going to be painful, but you know he knows, so he's just thinking, okay, I have to hope that he continues to focus on me. We have to stabilize at home. This is so ridiculous. He really wants that TC on that gold.
Got raids both directions, but he still hasn't noticed on those farms and pulled those villagers back.
Hera's down to 42 eco.
Oh, he's getting a lot of damage done, but it doesn't matter if you're getting the equivalent amount of damage back at home.
Yeah.
20 idle villagers for Leery, but he's dropped below 40 villagers on the side of Hera.
Did Leery realize at his back TC? I mean, Hera still hasn't realized. I don't know. Okay, there is at least a TC garrison.
Yep.
And now Hera
Oh, there, we're pulling all the boys and girls back to the main TC, but Leery has picked up so many kills at this. 36 idle villagers on one side, which is the number of villagers that Hera has.
I know, it's wild.
What the heck?
It's wild. And look at the castle. That castle's not a confident castle. That's not a 4 relics with Lithuanians and 30 Vill lead castle. That's a... We've made some mistakes, Castle. Let's make sure that we don't lose our goal.
Yeah, he's like, let me scrape through this game, please, and get to a fourth one. Still has a couple of knights alive in Hera's eco, but with a few monks, we should get the conversions and perhaps be able to deal with this raid finally.
Yeah, finally, Hera randomly repairs a house with
his dying breath.
Hey, I mean, that would be
the man wanted to leave a legacy. Okay?
Seriously, you know. Who knows who's going to live there next. Yeah. But Demo's still sitting there in the middle. Like to see a Demo come into play for both players, but they've been distracted. And it is 72 population versus 56. I like the fight from Hera here, but a great hold from Leery. The only way that Hera comes back here is if Leery somehow runs out of gold.
Yeah.
And I think Leary's eco is good enough where he should just make light cav and snipe the monks.
Yeah, Hera's still looking for a couple of Vill picks. And he does still have that military lead, but not by much at this point. And it's starting to look like that eco lead that Leery has built is going to eventually turn into a production advantage. Some more snipes here on this fourth TC, but we garrison to save the Vills. University going up for Leery.
If Hera would have noticed that raid earlier, I think he would be in a position where he's actually adding the second town set. Oh.
He did already a while ago.
Okay, well, a third town center is what I meant to say. My apologies.
Yep.
And then maybe the economy would actually be quite even. So that's unfortunately the downside of being such a beast on the offensive side, right? You're in 3 or 4 different spots, and then you don't notice a knight or two. And I feel like 2 knights is actually more effective at raiding these 2 players than 10 knights, just because they're going to notice the 10 knights.
Yeah,
exactly. The 2 knights are sneaky, right?
Yeah. But with how compact these bases are, too, sometimes it's hard to see.
Yeah.
A little bit of those colors blending in the back. And there you go. Once again, Hera with some raids on the farms in the back with the light cav. But swooping in is Leery to attack these monks with his light cav. And while maybe one conversion goes over at most, every single one of the monks goes down.
Yeah, look at Hera's Demo, desperate to help out there. And some raids there from Leery at the same time. It still is a massive economy lead. Now there's not much of a monk push going here for Hera. And so the latest with all the attack can move out. And this might be the end of Hera's little push here.
Absolutely shredding the knights with their ability to ignore the armor. And Leery picks up one and extends us to a 4th map.
Yeah, and it was extremely messy. And oh, now Leary's head is big. There we go.
Let's go. The Battle of the Mines.
Yeah, okay. So Leery really needed that one. And I actually think there's some benefit to that getting messy, because sometimes when you're feeling your structure as a player, you know, the timings of everything, and you play a game like that, you get a little rattled. I don't know if it's just me.
I'm rattled.
Yeah, there we go.
I can't get over how many villagers Hera sent forward at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. It's so funny because at some point, right, they had a meeting at the town hall and said, guys, we can't send our villagers forward. It's clearly risky. We should stay at home and we should farm.
Right.
And then those farmers listened, and they stood there farming peacefully, and they all died anyways.
And that Demo, man.
Yeah, that was so cool. I really would love to see a replay on that at some point to see how low the Doc HP was. Because I looked down,
I saw close.
I saw 34.
Yeah, it was real close. Doc went down to villagers. Villagers went down to Demo ship. But in the end, Leery comes out on top with the Lithuanians.
Interesting. So we'll see how clean the next game is. It could definitely be an effect for both of them. There's Byzantines, there's Burgundians, and there's Hindustanis here for Leery. Hindustanis and, here's
here
the
it is.
highlight. Look at the HP at the bottom left. Yeah,
Yep.
32 it looked like. Wow, that was
There it is.
crazy.
And then it goes down right after. Only 2 Vill lives for that.
Yeah, seriously, I don't know how that one villager lived to tell the tale.
Pretty wild.
But I'm leaving Hindustanis and Burgundians on the table for Hippo Arena.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think you have to hold Byzantines for Kawasan.
Yeah, especially because Turks is likely Hera's choice. He plays a lot of Turks, and we've seen Hindustanis show how good they are against Turks already today. So I think you don't want to use Hindustanis on Kawasan and then give Hera a very clear idea of what you're going for on Arena.
I would imagine Hera, though, with the map choice here, does go for Hippo Arena, his home map.
I would too. Yeah. Also, especially because I think the Byzantines are just terrifying to go up against when you're going to be adding fishing ships. And so you want to avoid Kawasan if at all possible here.
Is there a possible mind game at play here in the Civ Select on Hippo Arena, though? Or are we just going to go into...
I like Italians a lot, actually, on Arena. I think it's underrated.
We saw that earlier
Yeah.
today up against the Poles.
Yes.
Poles did come out on top, but there is no Poles as an option this time around for Leery. So it will be the Burgundians into the Turks, though.
Okay.
Of all things. Hera in the blue as the Turks on Hippo Arena. Leery as the Burgundians in the red. So we'll look for those eco upgrades to come in, the major booming to occur for Leery. And for Hera, it's a question of how aggressive he'll want to be with castle placement and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We will possibly see the unique unit for the Burgundians, but I think the unique unit you're going to see on the right-hand side is something that is more likely. It's a gunpowder unit that does a lot of damage from a lot of range, and what's beautiful about it is you don't really need to get upgrades on it, right? It's like you create it, you use it, you don't need to worry about armor because it kills anything it sees for a limited period of time. There are some great late-game bonuses for both these civilizations. For the Burgundians, you've got the economic one and vineyards, but the bigger ones is like the bottom left, economic upgrades being available in 8.
But Leery didn't finish building a house, and he actually got pop-capped for a couple seconds.
3 seconds!
As a result.
That's true.
He just walked away from an unbuilt house. It's such a minor thing.
Yeah.
It really won't play into it, but it was just kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, meanwhile, we're just watching Hera pushing a deer here. But, okay, so when they're closer together, it has benefited the Turks historically. Not in this tourney because they've only used this version, but normal arena versions, the players are just closer. So I think the unique unit play from Hera is much less likely. But where it gets weird is I don't think you want to let the Burgundians boom. Because if the Burgundians boom, they are really tough to stop in early Imperial Age. So I'm wondering his approach here, Dash.
Myself as well. I mean, we've seen a couple players attempt in early castle into petards, right? 2 petards, push through the walls. Maybe you can get something done in the castle age. There's also the other discussion that we always have to have here on Hippo Arena, which is about the relics.
Yeah.
And whether or not you want to invest into securing those early on into castle at the cost of a TC and maybe a few more villagers.
Yep.
Or vice versa. Game pause.
Yeah, we've got a pause here. I saw a little motion from Leery. Nili is now running through the hall.
Nili's getting his cardio in for the day.
Trying to make sure everything's okay here.
Love it.
I do notice that Leery is at 19 out of 20 population space. And we're not looking at his side, so I don't know if he's going to be building a house here.
I see buildings, though. Yeah, so he's close with both of them, so should be okay.
And we're checking to see... Oh, there's no berries in Leery's base.
Okay. We will have a restart here because, as you can see, the berries spawned outside of Leery's base.
Yeah.
Unintended, of course.
Yes.
And so a bit of a reset.
Come on, Leery. You play Arabia. Go take your berries. I think
Pretty funny. I love it, though.
Hera
They're both having a good time, both laughing about it. And I bet you Leery's like, oh, thank God. I didn't build a house, and I had 3 seconds out of TC time.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly they're laughing about right now. I'm not a very good lip reader. And
some bad lip readings in AoE would be, you know, that whole YouTube channel or whatever.
Great.
There could be some good moments. Might have to work on some of that for a later day in the tournament.
So do you have a little bit more time to think about things?
Yeah.
I think these guys probably have solid game plans already, but it'll be Hippo Arena again, and it'll be Burgundians versus Turks. They cannot change their civilization.
Yeah, the good news for us is we've exhausted all of our arena conversation already, so we're going to have to come up with something else to talk about for the next 10 minutes until these two players end up interacting.
I was already going to go there. I was already going to go there.
What do you got for me?
Well, I want to say how much I've enjoyed you being here, dude.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, it's been so cool. Seriously. You know, for me, 2017 is when I first saw your name in a chat, right? And I didn't know who you were, no offense, right?
It's okay.
And then a couple people were like, is that the Dash? To the point where I, did some Googling and then later on talked to you. And, it stemmed into you being a big part of this community. A big confidence boost for me to have someone like you watching, and now you're here today is pretty crazy how time has flown and how old we're getting. But
oh yeah, don't remind me.
Dude.
Well, that's very kind. I'm just so grateful to be involved with this incredible event and this incredible community. Like you say, to have rediscovered Age of Empires back in 2017. I mean, again, just kind of fumbling through Twitch and going, wait a second.
Yeah.
People still play Age of Empires 2? Like, that was my jam back in the day. And I dove straight in. Yeah, you and TheViper were definitely the two streams that I found first. And I loved getting both perspectives, right? The fact that there was even casters in the scene, and I could get that omniscient perspective and really just enjoy top-level Age being played, but then also the accessibility of the pros and the number of pros that would end up streaming over the coming years was such a great learning opportunity as well, and that's what we can really attribute, I think, the growth or, the regrowth of this scene, too, is streaming as a whole.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, how many civilizations have we had added to the game since even 2019 now? It's a big number. I'm going to trust all the viewers on this one.
Yeah?
Actually, no, they're just going to shout out.
They're just going to say
numbers.
69.
True. I'm thinking 14?
Well, there's an average of 3 or 4 civs, right, per...
I shouldn't have tried to think about this. It's been
I hate
a long
that you
one.
did this to us.
Yeah, seriously, this is my fault. Yeah, you no longer
see?
are happy to be here.
There it is, 15.8. I like that. I'm going with 15.8 extra civs.
But
Thank you very much.
The meta has certainly evolved, even leading up to this tournament, so it's been exciting. But speaking of the meta, I'm wondering what Leery's uptime is going to be here, because the old build, if you're going for light cav, would be 25 plus 2, so 25 Vills in Dark Age. Every single farm that you seed with the Burgundians would have horse collar, which you can already see.
Leery's not getting housed this time around. You see this?
True.
Already going up to 30 pop on this when he's only got 19 out there also. As per usual with Burgundians, he's going to get those eco upgrades nice and early. Double bit axe, horse collar gives him permission to drop these early farms as well as he continues to push in deer.
Yeah. So we'll see. We saw 26 plus 2 the other day, and I haven't tested it myself, but I believe there's just been some testing from the players saying if you want to make light cav, now that Burgundians have 33% discount instead of 40% discount on their eco upgrades, you need one more villager.
Second lumber camp for Leery currently.
Oh.
He's up to 22 pop stone.
Yeah, we're going to have a more exciting game than the light cav v light cav looking for relics if Hera is going to mine stone.
Well, we asked, what could the response be from Turks to that usual boomy play out of the Burgundians, and with another 2 villagers over to stone, 5 in total.
Yeah, and this is a 9 villager start, right? So there might be some different things you can do. This looks like the sell stone into castle build for Hera, but with this build order, you don't get loom. So I think either Hera is forgotten, which I'm going to bet against, or Hera is planning to eventually build this castle within his walls, not outside.
Okay. Yeah, 23 villagers, 24 pop total to click up to feudal age.
That's early, dude. That is super early. Does he have 0 farms right now?
23 vills is a viable fast castle.
Yes, it is. It's more so the economy when you get the castle up.
Right.
Because there's a big struggle with being able to produce janissaries if you don't have good food and gold income.
Right, it's not such a potent strategy if it's a castle and no follow-up, right?
Yeah,
so it is a very good point. But 58 seconds away from the feudal age. We'll have our answers soon. Leery not terribly far behind, a mitten 40 himself. It's 26 pop up, like you said. We expect 2 more villagers while he gets his feudal age buildings constructed before he can get a castle age click.
Yeah, so to explain this, you collect 10 gold with a villager, and you go back, doing whatever else with the villager.
Exactly.
Yeah. The first person to sell 100 stone gets 91 gold in return, which would take him to 201. You need 200 to go castle age. I've done this before, And then I've had to send my villagers from the stone all the way over to the gold to mine the gold so I can make some of my units.
Is he going to have the food?
It's so early, man.
I actually don't think he has. Where's the food coming from?
I mean, his berries? This is...
Well, he's going to sell more stone. He's going to have to buy food.
He will have to.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to. I mean, so with market abuse, this will still be a reasonable castle time.
Yeah, but if he this is interesting. If he buys food after selling 200 stone, I believe he'll be under 200.
300 stone sold.
Yeah, he had to sell 300 stone.
Plus 100 food, and he's still 50 away.
Yeah, so not clean.
Yeah,
not what you would want.
Time, garrisons for the food, boom, clicks up. So again, not horrible. Is still going to outpace Leery by a fair margin to that castle age. And with 7 on stone, should still have what he needs for a castle fairly early on in the next stage.
Interesting stuff with the prices here. If he wants to get loom, he needs 1 gold.
Oh, Lord.
So, like, normally the Turks all-ins here, you need the castle as far forward as possible. Oh, you know what I think he might do? He might actually make the castle next to the gold and then make a mining camp there. But with no loom, he definitely can't walk across this map. There's bears out there.
There's bears in them woods. All right, so 1 villager going out to gold.
Yeah.
Maybe this is for the loom click as soon as he gets to castle. Double bit axe as well on the way up. We've got that farming upgrade, the castle age farming upgrade for Leery coming in once again as a result of being the Burgundians.
Yeah, this eco is going to be sick here. Not adding any scouts. He will have no
Leery's
indicators
looking for
really.
it though. I love the activity of the scout here forward.
Too.
And Hera saw the scout go south. He redirects his vills through the northern gate.
He's going without loom?
He's gonna but he's gonna try and chase this scout away. He wants to try and bait him. Yeah, come follow me down here. Woo!
I mean, he can kill the bears and not lose a villager as long as he's paying attention. But okay, Hera, here he goes. Hasn't reacted yet. I honestly think that forward castle can still work really well here, but some aspects of this have been less than ideal for Hera, like that. He didn't click loom yet. The light cap's now in. The scout can leave and go kill the vills if the light cap's not paying attention.
Look at that castle placement. Leery will see it quickly. He's already got a couple spears produced as well.
Woo. Is he going to lose a villager to a bear?
He did. He just died. He lost a vill to a bear on the way up to the castle, but he is putting the house walls up.
It's not a Tuesday.
Oh, my God. Don't lose another one. Okay. That was very close. He does get the walls up, and so this castle will go up.
I mean...
Also, there's just a villager locked away over here.
She can't build it.
Still no loom click.
This has been the greatest false advertising ever for an Age of Empires 2 series by us. The level was so high for these two in the earlier rounds. They're
I'm going to bring you guys back to T90's prediction that one of these 2 players wins the whole tournament. I mean, in all honesty, they're absolutely incredible, stellar players. And a lot of times when you do take 2 absolute top-tier players and they want to throw kind of weird punches at each other, you get a lot of this chaos. Siege Workshop behind the castle for Hera. He's going full aggression here in the castle age. 1 TC, wants to get some damage done. 2 monasteries, though, on the side of Leery.
Okay, so look at resources collected. Massive, massive lead for Leery. You have to hold against this for a time.
This is a good move.
And
good move.
Resist the urge for the second town center until you've got the monk numbers.
Yeah, good move, though, walling behind.
I like that a lot. Yeah, because what is that, 60 stone? What is 60 stone when you've collected this many resources?
Exactly.
It's just worth it.
And again, it's the way in which you lose the game, right? Is you let these Janissaries into your eco and really get absolutely blasted by them.
Yep.
So, yeah, Hera beginning to work on the first set of stone walls. Second TC going up for Leery, so he does feel comfortable with what he's got.
Yep, there he goes. Now, the monks will have 9 range. The Janissaries have 8 range. But it's very easy for mass gunpowder to one-shot the monks. So the conversions have to be on point here. The light cap could also be very useful. Leery showing the double monastery. Hera now thinking, what do I do? But truthfully, Dash, the answer here is you have to continue to push.
Yeah, you don't have too many options there, but already a conversion comes through, and whittling down those numbers early is going to be very detrimental for Hera. Stonewall's almost complete here for Leery as a secondary line of defense. and more monks in production. Sanctity as well is going to make them that much more durable against the Janissary fire. I do like the ram coming forward, though. The most pressure that you can apply to buildings early on is through a ram.
Yep.
Targeting the blacksmith, of all things first.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to know what you want to target here. I think the most useful building would be the monastery, and then after that, the market. So maybe the market will be next. But Hera's trying to start the ball rolling here, and this could have a snowball effect as he's continuing to mass gunpowder. And if he were to kill all the monks and then drop a second castle, could be devastating.
Yeah, 8 fills on stone. Loom finally clicked here for Hera. Loom as well for Leery already in. 5 Janissaries now, 6 on the way. That's about the number you need if they actually hit their shots to start one-shotting the monks. Attempted conversions, Hera backs off, and it's just going to be a dance from this point forward.
I'll be curious to see if Leery puts more on stone here, because when Hera drops that second castle, and it's not an if, it's a when, you want your own defensive castle and ideally Imperial Age with all this food eco.
Now 1 monk traded for 1 Janissary there. The blacksmith has gone down, now working away on the market as well. So Leery's going to have to replace those at some point.
Also, the blacksmith might have been for a good castle spot. Because that, right where that was...
Yeah, right where the Janissaries are right now,
perfect.
actually, would be, kind of a beautiful spot. We continue that dance between the monks and the Janissaries. Now, we had a replay just the other day of Leery defending a castle placement with, like, 1 monk micro, with the monk spam.
Yep.
That castle still did go up, but we've seen what he can do to delay the timing on castles in the past. He's already replacing his market that is about to go down.
Does Hera have Loom yet?
Yes, he did. He got it just a minute ago.
Okay. Not that that matters versus a monk. But.
Coming forward for that castle placement. Thought about it a few times and has now decided this is the prime place for it. It'll range both of those monasteries, and if he does tech into Fletching or Bodkin, even a little bit more.
God, those units are so good. Every time Hera goes in there, he kills a monk. That is not cheap. Look at the value destroyed. 1,300 resources value destroyed versus 2,300.
Yeah. A lot of that as well is just the buildings too, but I mean, it's all worthwhile. It's all worthwhile, and you can see they're even having to throw up more houses because he's getting close to pop caps once again. And Leery, unfortunately, can't defend against this castle drop because of the presence of the Janissaries. The monks can't come forward to threaten, even bringing up a 3rd monastery. He knows that these front 2 are about to go down.
Yeah, and there's a problematic situation here because I believe the town center could go down as well. And you don't have your own castle. So that's priority number 1, is your own castle right in front of that TC, kind of where those 2 male farmers are there to the south of it, I think. Maybe delete a farm or 2, drop the castle. But you're also running on limited gold currently, so you might not want to use your gold to buy the castle. It's so tricky.
Yeah, now we can't ignore that through all this, Leery has built himself a 10 villager lead, currently housed though, and so needs to solve that. We'll do so in just a moment. Also has much better eco upgrades. So again, the longer he can stave off this pressure, the better it is for him. But he's running out of space, T90. In this version of Arena, we usually talk about how much space each of the bases affords the player that occupies it, but Hera is doing a great job at constricting that.
I'm shocked he's not buying stone here. I just only see this getting worse for him because there's now 2 castles from the enemy. There's now, the castle fire, which could lead to like Fletching or possibly Bodkin. He just seems to be accepting that Hera's never going to break through here. And Hera unable to go past the town center as it stands. And we see a university behind this for Leery, and he's actually just been so patient, and he is going to reach Imperial Age first as it stands, I think. I'm just not sure. Just don't choose the first TC, please.
Yeah. Please don't. Yeah, he should reach Imp first. He already has the resources for it, so as soon as the university completes, we expect the click in the back TC. Hera's not terribly far behind himself, though. Both players clearly aware that that's where the race has become, about the imp timing.
These guys, these Janissaries are very stubborn. These monks have knocked on their door so many times, and they just keep shooing them away. Yeah. They don't want to hear it. They're not interested at all in this religion. And there's the castle. And I like the castle spot. It's around where we were thinking here, Dash. And Hera's also on the way to imp. So we are going to see some craziness in the Imperial.
Only 20-ish seconds separates the 2 on their imp timings. And also, once again, I'll redirect everyone down to the res collected, res destroyed. If you do the math, they're about even as a result.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I like this play from Hera, though. I know that the Loom thing was kind of silly. Losing the villager to a bear is not something you would expect. But he really has found the strategy that he thinks is best with the Turks. And win or lose here, I can't disagree that this is strong, right? This has put Leery in a completely different position than he thought he'd be in. And it's put the economic powerhouse in the Burgundians on lower economy.
Yeah, Fervor, Handcart, 3rd TC, early Masonry. Love that.
That's huge.
In what will be a Treb war, love that.
Did he get... Oh, he can't get chemistry. Sorry, I'm just confusing it with the Bohemians. It's been a long day. Yeah, and I wonder if there will be a siege workshop here from Hera.
Well, he has one because of the...
oh, yep,
the
because
ram.
of the ram earlier.
I forgot the word ram. You forgot there was a siege workshop.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
It is
We're
currently
both losing
11
our
p.m.
minds.
local time, and the series hasn't exactly helped us think straight. So
love it. But yeah, bombard cannons will be able to be produced immediately upon reaching the Imperial Age for the Turk player. Also going for fletching. Nice little upgrade just to support.
Okay, so double trap for Hera. It is awesome. Free chemistry is awesome as well. I think Hera can actually afford barely 2 trebuchets and then 2 bombard cannons. Watch this.
Doesn't have enough gold for all of that.
He'll sell that food, I think.
Yeah,
right?
if he sells, then he absolutely could. He's got 100 stone that he could possibly sell. You might want to save that for repairs.
Oh my god, this would be so sick if he can.
There you go. Food and stone being sold, which would get you to the point that T90's talking about. 2 trebs, 1 bombard cannon immediately in production upon reaching the Imperial Age.
That's amazing.
That's a lot of siege pressure that's going to be headed Leary's way. He gets block printing for himself.
All right, interesting. The Ram is still going to town, by the way. Shout out to that Ram.
Seriously. The MVP of the game right now, working through these stone walls, and that's something that Leary's going to have to be concerned with because the castle does not protect that northern side of his base. Hussar gets into the back to do some scouting. 4 TCs, by the way, at work for Leery. And here we go. The Treb war begins, but it's going to be 1 to 2 plus a bombard cannon for Hera.
I want to see fletching here from Leery. Actually, he doesn't have the blacksmith. Never mind.
You're right. Actually, and I don't even know if he remembers that. It's one of those things that by this point you may have forgotten, and the moment you want to go for one of those upgrades, you're going to have to spam down a blacksmith. We do see Redemption and Cavalier coming in for Leery. Again, reminder, already has block printing on those monks. So once Redemption comes through, the bombard cannon has to be aware.
Oh man, fletching is such a big move here. It's so hard for Leery, but he's done a great job not to get into the castle range. He's got 1 castle. He doesn't have cannons of his own on the way here. It's just going to be Trebs, and Hera's still got a massive army inside of that castle. If Hera can keep the castle up, if Hera can push here, Hera will win this game and win the series.
Leery's in such a tough spot. Look how many villas he's dedicated to repairing this castle because he knows he needs to keep it up. But with already 3 Trebs and 2 bombard cannons working away on it, boom, it goes down just like that, and his base is open.
Yeah, now you do still need to progress a little bit carefully here, but it's much easier to control the non-monk units than it is the monks, because while you have the potential to convert 9 units, can you actually convert 9 units with this much pressure is the question.
Yeah, that is a good question. Let's see here. 4 trebuchets. Hasn't felt like he has the space to move forward with the Janissaries, which is a little questionable in my opinion.
Oh man, Treb goes down for Leery. He has no way of pushing back this castle if he only has 1 Treb. And Hera's got 5 trebuchets. He's got 2 cannons.
Ungarrisons the Janissaries. Maybe this is the moment to send it all forward. Hit the W key.
Oh boy, back to the castle you go. There's still a lot of range on the monks, and he's scared of him. Honestly, use the Trebs against monks.
Yeah, try as you might with those monks, but they really can't get in for any of those conversions, and it's a tough spot for Leery to be in. Gets a few more stables up back at home, though. That's going to be his last-ditch effort. But no food in the bank right now. He can't even produce any Cavalier.
Yeah, and it's funny because then Hera sits at 6 farmers. So even a Hussar switch could be awkward as one of the cannons gets converted.
Finally gets one, but unfortunately can't return fire on those Trebs. So still 5 Trebs now. Moving forward, running out of space. Ram doing his thing up north.
I can't wait for Hera to try and queue up Hussars and be able to make 1. Like, is 1 even worth it against that many monks? There's only 7 monks now, I guess. He really is making progress here.
Right, chemistry on the way for Leery. I don't even know if he has a siege workshop for himself to come out with bombards. And he's just completely out of space. He's completely out of space. I don't have 5 Cavalier. 5 Cavalier and a dream is what Leery has right now. Okay, thinks better of it instead of going under castle fire to try and wrap up these Trebs. He's using the market to get more Cavalier out onto the field.
I'm telling you, man, Trebs against the Monks is the play here.
He doesn't have any armor on this
Trebs
Cavalier.
against the Monks is the play.
Oh, my Lord.
Just sit there and start flinging your rocks at the Monks.
This is such a tough spot.
And if the Cav get... Oh, Leary's distracting the Castle Fire, but Hera clicks!
Yeah, he does. Yeah, they're both aware of it. Leery also trying to get just the healing up on these Cavalier. He's distracting the Castle Fire as best he can, but I just don't see what the answer is. There's no military units in production for Leery right now.
Yeah.
Castle way in the back.
He's going for the Monks with the Trebs. That's the play. This is so good because the Monks have to stand next to the trebuchets to convert them. That's not a possibility, and Leary's got to be like, come on, man. What is this garbage?
Yeah, still unable to produce anything. He's got 1,200 gold. He sells it all.
Wait, is that what I think it is? The revolution!
Let's
Here
go.
he goes.
Let's go,
siege.
baby.
He needs siege. Oh my God. 89 army, 0 eco for Leery.
But he's got one treb. He's got one treb. Is it going to be enough? He's got a big old smile on his face, man. He
so
knows.
hard.
He knows.
Oh, he could hear the whole house screaming, I'm sure.
Can he make it? Look at Hera. He's walling in all of his trebs.
Oh, that's the perfect play, because if you defend from this, you win. You have actual economy.
Flemish into 2 castles, though, and Janissaries.
That's a lot of
don't
army.
know if it's going to. It is a lot of army.
The Jans are going to disappear.
They absolutely are.
The bombard cannons and the Trebs have nowhere to run.
72 military to 19.
This tech, though.
Oh, my goodness. And look we got the Monks moving forward for conversions as well. Who needs siege units when you're just going under the castles?
It's working.
I cannot believe
working.
it. I cannot believe it. He's chasing the Trebs away. Look at Hera. He's just trying to run him around in circles. Do what I can here.
Oh,
my out
God.
and Leery's victorious. No way that worked. No way.
I mean, the tech shouldn't exist. Okay. I can't wait to interview them later, excuse me. But he was at the limit.
Giga Brain.
He had no answer. Oh, look at his head now.
Giga Brain. It doesn't even fit on the screen anymore.
What in the world? Like, we didn't even think that revolution was possible because he was so at the limit with resources.
No,
Did he have any?
Look, I resigned myself to that game being over.
Yeah, agreed.
Seriously.
Agreed.
With the lack of space, no production.
But think about that. You have one of the best economic civs in the game. You put them under that much pressure. You deny all relics. You have bomber cannons. You have trebs. You're winning the game. One button, and all that work is undone.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. We're going the distance here in the final set of the day. 2-2 between Leery and Hera after 2 dominant victories out of Hera to kick things off. Then that wild Frigid Lake matchup.
Yeah, which was messy.
Very messy.
This one wasn't necessarily messy, but it was all in.
No, I mean, because here's the thing. I absolutely love the strategy out of Hera on that map.
I also, like, some people are saying YGG, kind of get it because those trebs and bomber cannons are really expensive. I kind of wish it would have gone on a little longer. I mean, the castles will go down. The trebs and bomber cannons will go down. Hera thinks in his mind, I then can't make army. But Leery... He only had 4 villagers.
Yeah.
He would have had... No, imagine this, though. He would have Flemish militia stuck in the middle. They couldn't get in.
Right. Yeah, they'd be battering at the walls as best they can, right? And he would have brought maybe 1 trev forward. I'm with you. I would have liked to see it extend another minute or two. Just to maybe see what Hera's next best option was.
Dude.
But either way, he understands the power of Flemish. He got maybe caught off guard by thinking himself. He's like, look, I got him penned in.
Yeah.
I got plenty of trebs. I'm just going to whittle down this final castle, and I'll take the victory in 3-1 fashion. But Leery strikes back in a brilliant way, and we are going to Kawasan.
Yeah. And there are going to be people that say gunpowder counters infantry. Not 70 infantry.
Jordan's got hands on
Not
head.
70 infantry. Not a unit that is 12 attack, 75 HP with trebs behind it.
The whole building is popping off. Everyone take a breath. Collect yourselves. Composure will be necessary here in a 5th and final game for either of our players if they want to remain the only undefeated player in the tournament. I'll remind everyone of the stakes here. In a Swiss system, you want to keep powering forward with those victories. You want to lock up the 1st and 2nd seed, get a bye all the way to the semifinals in the bracket stage just by virtue of your group stage performance.
And avoid the biggest names.
Exactly.
Avoid the biggest names, and with that buy, have 2 days to watch everyone else's strategies as they try to move forward, and 2 days to relax. And
every single person in this tournament's a threat.
Yeah.
So every round you can buy yourself in that bracket stage is so worthwhile. We have Italians, we have Chinese available for Hera. We have Byzantines, we have Hindustanis available for Leery on Kawasan. It feels like Byzantines are just such a strong civ that that's what you'd want to go for.
Yeah, I think you have to, and I think Italians are the same boat.
Okay.
Also, the order of the picks tells you a lot. Hindustanis were also on the second wave, I believe, but I think Hindustanis were kind of another pick for Arena, which thank God we didn't see because we wouldn't have seen that previous game. And here we are, game number 5, Byzantines versus Italians it is. And again, both these players come in 2-0 in the group stage. One player will be 3-0, and the only undefeated player in our sets in group stage here at NAC. Hera is on the right side of the map. He's pushing in his deer. I'm sure we'll see the same here from Leery. But the key focuses on these civilizations. The key differences will be Byzantines have more HP on their docks, and their fire ships attack 20% faster. And then while there's other bonuses to talk about with the Byzantines, the Italians have the cheaper dock techs. It's cheaper for them to advance to the next stage, and then the fishing ships are also cheaper.
Exactly. So both have different advantages when it comes to that water play, and that's usually what we see the focus here early on Kawasan. Of course, we also have to answer the question of will they trade sides of the map, or will they choose to dock the same side? A lot of times that's really just a coin flip.
Yep. As
we see Hera already out on the way to the southern pawn and Leery towards the north. So trading pawns initially.
Initially, yep. And scouting here is crucial. It's been a long, messy series. It's a long day here. It's 11 p.m. And small mistakes matter. So if you don't wall in your villagers there on that box turtle, that could be a big swing, right? So we're going to see the wall there for Leery as he's thinking ahead. I'm sure Hera will do the same. And normally Leery would be encountering Hera right now on that pond if that's where the dock was coming up. So I think at this point, using process of elimination, Leery can tell himself that Hera's not going to be docking his side.
Yeah, both players being ultra cautious there by walling in the villagers, but getting the docks up. And yeah, as you mentioned, Hera now making his way towards the north just to verify and confirm that that is in fact where Leery went for his initial dock.
Now, I think there's some weird things at play here. So Italians, it's cheaper to go to the next stage. So you think maybe you can get away with saving some resources and going for man-at-arms or going for some type of land attack with the extra res. But also you're against Byzantines, which get Town Watch for free in Castle.
Really hard to surprise the Byzantines.
Yeah, so like the Byzantines are likely to see you. But then you think, well, do I want to go fire ships against the Byzantines that have the faster fire ships? And there's this back and forth thinking. But I think at least with the Byzantines, it's a you can do no wrong civilization. So just go for the fires and then adapt on land would be my guess.
Both players have identified each other's docks on opposite sides of the map. Loom in for Hera. Feudal Age clicked. Loom on its way for Leery, so he will not be far behind.
If there's a situation on day 5, day 6, day 7, where one of these two players, didn't move on directly to the semifinal or whatever, we might look at this game and say that was the difference, right? Mm-hmm. And so, it's a big game, right? I understand that these two are very comfortable right now and you don't know what the future holds, but they need to throw everything they have at this with this system.
All right, well, Leery sending a villager out to that southern pond, so does want to contest on water.
He actually killed the deer underneath the TC, but wants wood and gold for now, so Leery is going to let the deer just sit there, but it's underneath the town center, and it's going to rot away, partially, but it's still food that he could take at some point if he wants it.
Definitely. Vill's going out to gold now. Vill arriving to the southern pond. Look at that. Hera coming forward, though, with the fishing ship to scout. Did he catch it?
I don't know if he did.
Because he kind of redirected the fishing ship, so I'm not sure.
Leery's looking for a shorefish, but you need the dock up now. Why is there no shorefish there, actually?
Yeah,
that's really weird.
It is a big gap. He's going to rotate around to the southern side of it and find this one, but now at this point, dock should be late.
Yes, it will be late because he's looking for the proper dock position. Hera's scout is it close by here. It's actually in the back of his base right now. I think he might be expecting some type of sneak.
Hera has not produced a military unit on water because he did not scout the dock.
Let's see. Okay, so he just hits feudal. Can we see Hera's scouting over everything? I want to know if he even saw... Okay, so he sees the dock there. But I don't know what he's thinking here. Is he just assuming there's no duck?
I mean, he's
he's
out of the shoreline.
He's looking again.
He's looking again.
No!
He's
taking the
still
fish.
doesn't see it. Oh my goodness, this could be absolutely disastrous.
He was up 2-0.
The Byzantine player, there he goes. He finally sees it, and boom, immediate fire galley. But you're playing fire galleys behind the Byzantine player.
Big problems there. Big problems for Hera. Still feels like he's got a barracks or something, right? Okay, so that explains the lack of docking.
Okay.
So he's going for range. This is still be a positive for him, because he should know now that Leery's not going to have the barracks yet, but immediately after this, Leery's going to go for the barracks. So it's really just prioritization of where you spend your wood when.
Yep.
Hera trying to recover now on his pawn. Honestly, would have loved to see him try and take out the fish from Leery instead.
Right.
But 2 docks is better than 1.
Yeah, order of operations there with when we bring those buildings up. A second dock, though, in the south does mean numbers advantage for Hera eventually. Repairing the fishing ship to make sure that he doesn't
I don't know where Leery's going right now.
Early.
But Leery's not killing any fishing ships, despite being up against 0 Navy. Which
Focused on something else.
Yeah, I mean, that's not great. He's adding his range now at home. He must be expecting, since he saw the 2 docks, that Hera's just going to be popping out there with something soon.
Okay, harassing the villager here, and with that hill advantage, but okay, fire galley pops out, we'll be able to defend the villager.
And I don't think Leery will have scouting on the fact that there is a range, and I'm sure Hera must be expecting a range if he's not seeing a lot of fires, but again, it's been a long series, and he does have scouting on the range, so he does know.
Honestly, so far so good for Leery, though. Even though he's not pressuring those fishing ships, the fact that he's untouched in the northern pond, and also he's producing demos, which tells me he just wants to damage the eco here.
Yep, that's a good point.
From Hera. Again, recognizing that he's one dock into 2.
Eventful stuff here, crazy series, still 0-0 on the KD. That demo's much earlier than what you would normally do. I think Hera must be a little confused right now. There's the demo.
Okay.
There's 2 demos from Hera, though.
He gets blocked by his own fire galley, though. Trade for trade on those demos.
Yeah, Hera, you do not use your demo here. You have 3 fires versus 2, and you've kind of got him wedged in. Yeah, it's a fake from Hera. This is so well played from Hera. Really like this. You do not need that demo. Well, okay. Well, that's still fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gets the kills and defends his fish.
Exactly. So now you have 3-0 in that fire galley count in the southern pond. Leery's still going to throw up some demo rafts just to be a nuisance.
Look at Leery's vision when he places these houses. I think he's placing houses intentionally to the north of his base for vision. Yeah, he's got this line of vision from his buildings because he's Byzantines. That is sick, actually. But still wondering when Hera's going to move out with his range units, and if Leery's going to move out with his range units on land.
Yeah, 3rd archer in the queue currently for Hera. You would imagine at that point, yeah, he ejects him now and is moving forward to the north for a dock. And so if Leery gets complacent, he might get caught off guard there as well with 5 fishing ships.
He's looking for those archers. He wants to kill those archers when they come out. Again, Vodka, sorry, I'm probably so annoying after a long day, but that line of vision in the north is crucial here for him. He's going to see all that. You can see it on the minimap, and now he sees the archers. Did he notice
Blocked
it?
The archers, but did
he notice it?
Because he's got those skirms, but he hasn't turned them around just yet.
Oh,
that's what you would want to see.
My goodness. This could be huge for Hera.
Okay, no fletching on these archers just yet, but 3 is still enough to do damage to villagers, and those hunters, quite vulnerable.
Yeah, very vulnerable, and Hera has that area scouted. Here come the skirms. Like, attacking the opponent's eco with skirms never really feels that great.
No.
And this could be 4 dead villagers. Oh, Hera needed this one badly.
Okay, here we go. He starts working away on these villagers again with just 3 archers, no fletching. It's still going to take a while to get any kills, but Leery not even responding yet.
He's defending, he's attacking is what I mean.
Yeah.
And he has killed the archers from Hera. Both players are looking at their offensive armies. It's been a very long series. Neither player really reacting right now.
You may have killed the archers on the front, but you haven't killed any eco just yet. Does finally get a Vill snipe, but he's lost 2 already at home, now 3, and finally starts retreating with these 2 remaining villagers. A lot of food in the hands of those villagers as they go down as well. Now 4 dead.
Yeah, and it'll be a 5th here because Hera's getting a blocking in. I'm pretty sure of it.
Final shot. Die breath. No, he jumps into the TC at the last moment.
Yeah.
I did see. Okay, the Eco KD ticked up to 5 though.
And you were like, "What happened?"
So I got very confused.
Yeah, that's
it must have been a fishing ship up in the top, is what I assume, because Hera is starting to do work. But we have harassment as well on the back wood line.
Two more villagers died there as well.
Wow, loses all of his archers to the TC as well, but every single fishing ship goes down in the north for Leery. And look at that, just like that, 8 eco advantage for Hera.
And watch this, Hera's going to kill the spear, and he's got scouts on the way soon. So while he currently has kind of put his villagers in an awkward position.
Yeah, might lose one Vill throughout all of this, but should clean up the rest of the army.
She's a beast. Will she die?
Actually, minimum range.
Will she die?
He's no longer microing. Oh, there it is. Dead. There it is. Okay.
All right.
We got one, but all of the military will go down here, and a lot of the pressure from Leery is stopped in its tracks.
And 0 fishing ships. For the guy who scouted properly and had the Byzantine fires, 0 fishing ships versus what will soon be 7 for Hera. What's crazy, though, is resources collected is even.
Yep.
And Leary's actually going to click up to Castle Age faster.
That's a very good point. Yeah, he's got 400 gold in the bank, 700 food, so just about there.
We got random army there. I mean, Hera didn't see this. Random villager there in the middle. There's still opportunities here, and Hera still creating scouts, so he's forever feudal at the moment. Again, it's just such weird groupings, right? You got Archer Skirm there, 2 Archers, 1 Skirm here. How do you even defend from this?
Exactly. Fletching in for Leery, so 2 Archers will do decent damage to these villagers. I'm not sure that Hera wants to take that fight.
No.
Kind of sack. Yes, you're going to clear up the Skirm, but the micro from Leery means 1 more Vill for sure goes down.
Yeah, and I mean, it'll be more villagers as well, and the scouts here, we'll see if they're going to have the support that's needed.
Oh, don't make us a liar. Please kill that Vill. Thank you very much. He does just that. The scouts, though, doing work and will force the military back from Leery. Castle Age Quick, though, is in. Minute and a half away. Archer armor as well to follow.
The key here when you reach the next stage is can you actually afford something that makes the next stage matter for you, right? It's not going to be Navy, because you just don't really have it. So it has to be
losing a lot of military on our way
up
up to Castle. You never want to see that.
Yep. Again, a lot of it is a little random and scattered for Leery. He loses another archer there, and while it was hurtful for Hera, that attack, Hera's got better resource income now. He's collected way more resources, and he could buy his way to Castle Age.
Total control of both pawns for Hera. So again, as long as he doesn't lose too much to the early upgrades that Leery's able to get with his faster Castle Age, he's going to feel really good about his position.
Yeah, the positive here for Hera, obviously the eco. The negative is that Leery will have no distractions. He knows the situation, and he knows he needs to kill, and he's got some archers here, right? So I guess Hera could present some distractions, though. If he runs in with the scouts at quick wall.
5 scouts. That's a pretty deadly force. We do get the quick walls up on the wood line.
Gold's needed as well. A couple palisades there, and well played Leery. He's got to do his wood lines as well, but you don't stay home with your army dash. You've got to move forward. He drops the second TC.
Yeah, uses it as a wall as well. Has to run away from the berries for just a moment. And it's a tough position to be in, right? You just hit Castle Age. You want to be going forward to do damage, and you'll get a nice cleanup on this military here from Hera. But if those scouts can wreak enough havoc, Hera will delay till his Castle Age timing. Crossbow just completed. No bodkin yet. Bowsaw as well. Hera 1 minute away.
Yeah, in case you looked at Hera's resources and said, he didn't click up to Castle Age, what's happening? No, that's just what good economy brings you. So he can afford crossbowmen, knights. I would like to see knights here, even though you're up against Byzantines, and he knows exactly what he has to do.
He has imp resources.
Yeah, seriously. I don't think you should do it.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I would love it. Don't get me wrong. But
we've seen crazier things.
He does have imp resources. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got a 14 eco lead, 15 seconds away from the Castle Age. We've got Leery trying to loop around in the south here with enough crossbows to do some real damage, if not tracked or respected properly by Hera. There's the Castle Age hit. And immediately we have a knight in production, crossbow, bloodlines, bodkin. Just the eco that he has affords him so many upgrades.
Yeah, in a normal situation, I think I would look at the amount of archers he has and say, is it worth it to get crossbowmen? Because the price is more expensive these days.
Yeah.
Absolutely worth it when you have
now he's playing Oprah Winfrey. You get an upgrade, you get an upgrade, you get an upgrade.
Absolutely.
Why not?
And, you know, knights should do a decent job at clearing this, but let's see if he can keep the army away from his villagers.
Okay, does just that with a nice little wall, pushing the crossbows towards the TC. Can get rid of that camel as well. We've got the first armor upgrade coming in for those knights that he's currently producing. Bodkin finally on the way for Leery, and that's going to be what he needs to get some damage done on this wood line. Will Hera respect it, notice it, and pull these Vills back in time?
Yeah, Leery, He really needs to get some damage done here. He doesn't know the
Great
stables.
response out of Hera. Immediately pulls them. Doesn't lose a single Vill. Now 2 Knights on the way back right as +1 completes with 4 crossbows as well. I think all of these units are about to go down from Leery.
Absolutely. And Hera didn't need +2 armor. He didn't need that many. You probably want to pull some of the weaker ones away in an ideal world. But it's game 5. It's been a long day. He will clear that. But 48 eco now versus 56. The archer numbers are still climbing a little bit here for Leery. He's at 10. He's maybe going to have some siege, maybe some monks in the middle.
Okay, saving grace.
And the TC is going up in the middle.
I was about to say, saving grace here for Leery is that with the faster castle each time, he's actually going to be ahead in that TC count. Hera's been housed for quite some time, and so has not actually been adding to his population, either in military or in eco. Good trade here in the middle for Leery to defend against the push. 3rd TC will go down on the berries at that, and the food eco is going to shoot back up. He can actually sustain 3 TC production.
Also, he'll see the whole world with his vision at this point. Now that he's in Castle Age and has all these buildings, there should be no surprises. So just waiting. I love that move, though.
A 1 Knight raid on a gold like this, though, can still be hugely effective. It does look like Leary's aware of it. A couple crossbows might be enough to deter.
Yeah, and actually, what's kind of funny is it might only be 1 villager kill there. But gold is going to be needed. I like this from Hera. He knows that with the middle hill, Leery might want to push.
Yeah, completely.
But he's forcing Leery coming home.
Completely forced off a gold. 1 on gold and only 78 in the bank for Leery. Now crossbows forward.
How is Leery still alive in this game?
I mean, I'm
Every
amazed.
other game that we've seen go like this, the player in Leery's position would almost always die. This is so impressive from him.
Absolutely, absolutely. A couple crossbows go down to the TC fire. And now crossbows are back to defend. Needs to make sure he groups them up before he takes the fight, though. Don't lose any unnecessary ones to Hera's little raiding force. Waiting for permission to get back onto that gold. That's the real issue for Leery right now, is that he still isn't on gold. There we go. Forces those crossbows away and can get onto it. Hera using the market to get some gold. Click Elite Skirmisher. And now he's looking to bring some TCs up for himself.
Yeah, and we're going to see
62 to 62 eco,
some crazy multitasking here for Leery, because Hera's going to try and raid with Knights. And there's an immediate garrison. That's an example of it. And it looks like Leery has an idea that the crossbows are coming back, and then Hera has to run away. Great job from both. Look at the Byzantine vision, though, right?
Yeah, he's hunting them down. There's no hiding from me as the Byzantine player. Okay, I'll push you away. Recognizing these Knights coming in, he needs to pull his military back. Crossbows to defend. Might lose 1 villager here on the farms, but a quick response. Garrisons into the TC. Won't lose too many more. Idle for a moment while the crossbows do respond. We've got the 2nd armor upgrade coming in for these Knights. Will make them a little bit more potent, but solid crossbow numbers at this point.
Yeah. I think at this point, Leery is just thinking, I need imp. I need imp. If these crossbows get upgraded, I kill everything.
Yep.
But the eco, while the number's there, still no horse collar. Resources aren't really floating. It's not quite at that spot he needs to. So I think with Hera having +2, Hera having elite skirms, there's a big window here for Hera, but he has to take advantage of it because he still hasn't been able to break this guy.
I'll be honest, though, T90, you say no horse collar for Leery. There's also no horse collar on the other side.
True.
And it's still just double bid axe.
And that fishing ships probably aren't on fish traps right now, and I bet you any money they're on like the last box turtle or 2.
Exactly.
So there's a little bit more food there.
8 fish
Yep,
left on
we're going to watch that food disappear. There's a couple box turtles. Hera's score also influenced by the amount of navy he has, which doesn't influence the rest of this game. So this is crazy, man. I thought Leery was out of the game. I thought he was out of the series.
I cannot believe it, man. I absolutely cannot believe it. 9 fishing ships about to go idle and doesn't have the wood to put up fishing traps. For Leery, he may have found himself with the advantage.
Yep. The only thing that's so weird here is if he had a TC on gold, he's pushing. The fact that he doesn't have a TC on gold means that he has to respect this.
Yeah, he
and
does finally get those walls up, though. That's very nice because it's going to stop the Knight raid from coming in. And if he can get these final 2 houses up in the north before that Knight comes in. No, he doesn't. And so, okay, he does get the click on it, but the Vill will go down, and it's an easy breakthrough for Hera. So it's still a threat to Leery's eco. In fact, has to delete a house to get back in defense.
Hera needs to go castle in the middle right now. You're pulling the army away. You know this is crazy enough of a threat that could happen. I bet you Leery even expects it.
Yeah.
Because he's starting to make outposts there in the middle where he's currently vulnerable. House, No other houses here. Will Hera run away? He needs to make sure that he doesn't gift any of these knights because he's got an army mainly comprised of elite skirms.
Yeah, great to have those 2 monks along with those crossbows to push the knights away. There's the castle drop.
This is so sick.
Leery already knows!
He's replacing the tower.
Because of that, because of the outpost.
Yeah.
He saw them coming forward.
And placed a house there.
And there's only one place.
Yes.
There's only one castle position anyway.
Wow, he blocks it.
He did the math.
He did the math, and there's been a lot of math today. And meanwhile, there's a big fight at the same time.
Oh my
the
God! The
mangonels are going to get sniped.
Okay,
and it's actually not bad for Hera.
He got 1 conversion on the knights. Doesn't get a second one. Okay, he has to pull the gold vills away. But he is still got a solid number of crossbows in defense. And like we said, that castle, okay, he's attempting a castle over here. And unfortunately, the tower doesn't range it. Enough knights in the center that it does look like the castle's going up in the end for Hera.
And we have Imp on the way for Leery. So big problems, but it could be bigger problems for Hera if Imperial Age actually comes in here.
Okay.
Very tough to get resources right now if you're Leery. There's blue all over his base.
Half of his eco is idled. 47 villagers currently garrisoned in TCs. He's got crossbows coming forward to start to do work on these castle-building villagers. What's the percentage on that castle?
It's 100%.
Okay, there it is.
100%.
It's up for sure.
And the gold is so close to all of this. It's right beneath that. So Leery's just been hopping back and forth between all these golds, but Hera's got a massive lead now. It's the crossbow numbers that Leery needs, and he needs to be able to afford Bracer and Arbalest.
Yeah, full retreat mode right now for Leery. All of these villagers don't really know what to do with themselves. He will clean up the knights back at home in his eco, but he's still under threat. And unfortunately for Leery, he's going to hit Imp, but I don't really know what his options are at that point. And for Hera, it feels like full castlage.
Yeah, now this is where it gets fun, because Hera, he will be up against quite a few crossbow numbers, but it's actually, as I say that, it's only 12. That's not that insane. Hera can hold against 12
No, he's got
crossbow.
enough for Bracer, but not even enough for Arbalest.
But what if he gets a castle and goes for Trebs?
Okay, he's going to sell a bunch of resources.
Where's it?
Buy some stone. There's the castle in the middle of the map, so he wants to contest for it. Imp is hit. Just now getting the resources for Bracer. He clicks that. 14 crossbows on the field, but a flood of knights on the way. The gold is back under fire for Leery. It's such a tough position to be in. Can he fight his way out of this one?
Hera needs to be making enough knights where he snipes that Treb. If he can snipe that Treb, or maybe multiple Trebs if Leery can afford it, then he might be able to do this. But, man, the pressure from Hera is so good.
There's so much military on the field for Hera. He just eclipsed 50 military with 90 eco behind it. Yes, he's still Castle Age, but he might just have overwhelming numbers, forcing Leery once again back to the safety of his TCs. He's doing his best to stay alive, and he does have that one Treb on the way.
Wow. Okay. Intense game. 95% of players have researched Horsecollar by 3146 on Kawasan. Thank you very much, production.
I wonder who the 5% are.
Yeah.
These two, right now, right here.
Maybe. Yeah. Thank you very much, Stats. Guys. Guy. Whatever. Units back on the gold now.
More villagers going down for Leery. He's barely keeping his head above water, looking to trade against these crossbows, but again, the raids continue, dropping below 60 villagers for the first time in a long time, and it's too much for him to handle. He calls the GG, well played, and once again, the reverse sweep is stopped in its tracks. Hera takes it 3-2.
What a crazy series. There's a bit of a chuckle from them there. I think they realized that that wasn't their cleanest series ever. But
love between teammates, though. You got to love and respect between teammates, smiles on their faces. They know it was a battle between two of the world's best. They pushed each other to the limits. We saw creative and wacky strategies out of both of them.
And some resiliency, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it looked like Leery was going to roll over, and this was going to be the biggest dud of a series. And then he ends up winning 2 games. And then you look at Hera and say, oh, is he frustrated after how he lost Game 4? What's going through his mind? And then he wins Game 5.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to get them on the couch. I kind of want to talk to both of them, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know. Are we allowed to do that?
Can we get them both in the interview? Oh, my goodness. Well, let's see. Hera's not even –
Hey, Nili.
He's off in his own universe right now.
Can we interview both?
Would it be possible to talk to both?
If Leery wants to, of course.
Yeah. All right, we're trying to get that all set up for you guys. Give us an extra moment here. We're also trying to catch our breath from that series.
Long day of Age of Empires 2. All the games were great.
I'm exhausted. It feels like a workout. Okay, it looks like we got both of our players over on the couch. So T90 and I are both going to hop over there. We're going to 4-man this one on the couch. We're going to get comfy.
I have to move.
Make space for the talent.
For the important people.
All right, we got mics on. Here you go, T90.
Oh, we're gonna
Hera,
get real
Leery,
cozy.
teammates, brothers in arms.
I'm happy you skipped the gym, Hera.
What the heck just happened in that series?
That was a really crazy series. I mean, every game was a banger, I think. Really, really crazy series.
Certified bangers. I could say so myself. Okay, let's try and go through it one at a time. Can we get the maps up on the bottom of the screen just so I can remember what happened? Because there was so much craziness throughout all of this. They were wildly fast games initially. So let's talk about it. We had the Mezzo matchup. Epilepsy warning, by the way, on that one. Okay.
So we need to see the first game, no worries.
So we had the
Second?
That one, well...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, let's just get into it because, again, the Arabia first matchup, it's a Mezzo matchup, so that's kind of a classic. But, Hera, what do you attribute the victory to, the quick victory to?
I think mines are better than Aztecs.
Just simply a Civ win?
Well, on 3-vil start, it's close, but on 9-vil start, mine gets to keep the extra vil. And so I think that's enough to give them a big edge over Aztecs. You know, it's close, but I think I surprised them maybe with the faster castle.
I was about to say, you had the market play into the castle timing, and it was just looping the Eagle Scouts around right as they get the extra attack.
Yeah.
Felt like that's all it was. Leery, do you feel like you played too respectfully in that first game?
I think I missed an important building.
Did we miss him missing an important building?
I missed an important building.
Market.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you both had very different approaches economically as well, right? Like, Hera had 8 on gold when you had 2, which I didn't think necessarily would be bad, but I thought you were going to force an engagement with the skirms after armor.
Yeah, I wanted to do so, but then again, I only have skirms and he has Eagles and Archers, and obviously he can also pull Vils. That's when I realized, might not work out as planned. And then obviously I knew it was coming, but was up too late anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the maps were very interesting here for both of you because you obviously had that very exposed forward gold, but
Yeah.
had to control that little hill, and that felt like kind of a crucial point on the map. Again, we talk about the Castle Age timing, and with the military advantage, you just kind of rolled it forward and ended it in the moment.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do from this point, just because since I used the market and he had the 200 stone floating, I just have that faster timing, and that's everything in Mezzo matchup. So yeah, from here it was pretty over, but I think the game was pretty interesting in Feudal Age, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it was a ton of fun to watch. From here, we go to the second map, and once again, kind of lightning fast pace out of you. Interestingly enough, Leery, I want to ask you the first question because we had just seen Dravidians on this map from Viper. He went forward for the mill in the center. You chose to go for the dock in the back. Was that just more of a fact of the matchup and that you don't want to be challenging Japanese for the center right away?
I wanted to control the center as well, but I was lacking food because I killed my board with the TC, so that wasn't really possible.
Ooh.
We
Oh, you
totally
missed that,
saw that.
apparently.
Yeah,
we totally
we saw
that.
that, and so
course.
everything you're saying
Yeah,
makes
so
sense to us.
yeah, so you know, I still wanted to make a dog, so that didn't change. But obviously, after that was the plan to contest the center.
That does explain why your resources were at the limit. I mean, we attributed to the militia and scout killing your fishing ships, which I'm sure felt great,
Yeah.
but that really hurt, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, then I had to decide, right? I knew that the militia was killing my fishing ships, but then I had to decide between a fire ship and the range. And I already pulled my village to the middle, and then there was no going back because I already saw him there. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's fight then.
I mean, I'll give you one thing. You really committed there for a while, so.
Yeah, I was gonna do or die, so. and then I
Oh, we
chose
were
death.
rooting so hard for this demo, by the
Yeah,
way. We were
yeah.
rooting so hard, but I think you canceled it once you realized it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, here I had it at 60%, and then I thought he'd come back for the fish, but I think he got scared. I made that fish trap to bait him, by the way.
Right?
But he didn't
I believe
bite.
it. I believe it.
And then he just ran away, so I canceled it.
I realized there was no way I'm ever gonna kill that fish before something comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Hera, were you originally going for Man-at-Arms and things got crazy, or were the 2 militia like enough in your mind to gain a little bit of a foothold early?
No, I think I just wanted the 2 militia to snipe his fish. To be honest, this map is super random. There's so many things that can happen, so I wanted to make it as messy as possible, and he joined me in that. He sent Vils forward, so
Absolutely.
it got really crazy, and then it just became who can be everywhere at the same time.
That's one word
exactly.
for it. Okay, this maybe was my favorite map of the series, simply because the 2 Berbervilles coming forward, sniping the early dock, and then you decided 2 vills wasn't enough, Hera. Why'd you bring the whole village?
Like the plan was to do exactly that, and then after that I didn't know what to do. So I didn't find my 2 sheep. I think like back home.
Yeah. Yep.
and I just didn't know what to do, so I just went forward, and then I just had to continue sending more vills. I'm not really sure what happened. I really panicked here.
So you guys probably don't know this, but Leery does. But the doc was at 32 HP before the demo came out. Like, were you thinking a demo was coming out of this doc?
Of course, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Not a galley opening?
Yeah, I was like, I was against the timer,
Yeah.
We were screaming so loud for this to only be 2 villager kills.
I know.
Like, we were like, oh my God, it's going to be the biggest demo shot we've ever seen. And it was still awesome.
Without the repairs, though, Larry, that demo never comes out.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Those couple hammer hits there. But,
I wasn't sure where to send the demo either, because like if I go at the back, but it bugs out somehow. I've never faced that situation before, right? Like there was a dog right next to me.
You've never had 10 vills
And there were 8
battering
vills in
down.
the arcade hitting my dog, and I don't know which ones to choose. So.
That was sick.
Yeah, this as well. A beautiful
That was
trap.
stylish.
Beautiful trap. Brought the spears in to clean up those scouts. But Leery would be the first to castle age, and you were quick to get in those 4 relics, and that felt kind of overwhelming.
You got 4?
He has 4 relics right
that's
now.
Crazy.
Yeah, you were, for what it's worth, you were quite close with many of your scouts.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you had 2 scouts, and you kind of like walked by 2 monks that had a relic at one
Be
point.
happy I have 4 relics. You had more knights than me in that game. So.
I think I should have won. Not should have, but I think I could have won if this didn't happen. You nuked my economy. I didn't even see that.
Honestly, there was blinking all over the map.
Yeah, there was so much going on. I think also in those types of games, it's really hard to focus on things when that starts like that.
Yeah.
Because everything's just chaos.
But yeah, you can see the Vill lead extended for Leery. And so while the military numbers were largely in Hera's favor throughout, it was those upgrade advantages for Leery that would kind of roll him forward. That would bring us to the 4th map of the series, which was Hippo Arena. Another incredible one. Right out the gate, when you saw Burgundians, was that just, okay, I need to go disrupt that eco, I have to go aggressive as Turks?
Yeah, I wanted to YOLO because I didn't really care about this game. Like, I think if I play properly, then it's like 50-50 anyways. So if I YOLO, I catch him off guard. It's also 50-50.
Yeah.
And I felt good about that. But this game was crazy, honestly.
You know why I made the barrack actually? I knew we were coming forward, so I wanted to make a unit which stops the castle. So I had like spears and a tower and the vills forward.
I had no loom. Like, you almost stopped it.
You lost a Vill to a bear.
I was getting ganked by Warwick. What can I do about it?
That bear followed you across
The whole way.
the entire map.
You had like 25 pop. The bear followed you across the whole map.
I was supposed to use my scout to kill him, but my scout was inside his walls. I didn't know
That's
that.
true. That's true.
It's a disaster.
You got baited in. By the way, your ram probably killed like 2,000 resources worth of buildings.
Yeah,
it was
always
pretty
ram.
incredible. Leery, at this point, admittedly, both of us, we were like calming down our cat because we were like, all right, we're pretty resigned to this being over.
I was the same. Don't worry.
And so, but I mean, to go for Flemish, a last-ditch Flemish castle upgrade. Boom, there it is. The button was pressed. Did you even expect it to be this effective?
No, I didn't expect him to resign. I thought I was dead, but nevertheless, I didn't. Like,
Look at my panic. I don't know what to do. I have no idea.
Yeah. I love the wall attempts here, though. The wall attempts here to try and save the Janissaries and the Trebuchets.
I felt when you got started to get the walls down here, Hera, that's your best case, right? You're between 2 castles. You're trying to save your army here. So for what it's worth, it was a really good attempt here, but there's just so many units here.
He did a really good play to loop his monks around, though. I think that was like secure. Like, I think he still wipes me, but I think that was the securing factor. But I think, we talked about it after. I think what I should have done was pull everything back, give up the castles, and reset the game. Go back to my walls.
So that's what we had talked about. We were like, we kind of wanted to see the game go for like 3 more minutes, even if you ended up GGing it, just to like see what that response could have been as he tries to move back across the map. Because as you see here, 4 villagers currently, but
no
still
food income
66
whatsoever,
and no food
Nothing
income.
on the queue.
You have 3 on food, so you climb back eventually.
Yeah.
Given 2 hours.
I mean, Hera had 4 at that point, so it would have been close, right?
I think those were the 3 vills I converted from you, actually. Or like 1 or 2 of them.
Either way, though, spectacular comeback to force a game 5 between the 2 of you. So here we go to Kawasan. It's Byzantines, Italians, and once again, Hera, you had such an early lead controlling both pawns, but Leery with the faster castle age time into TCs, you'll end up watching the ecos essentially match each other, and then it just became a battle of military control.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. This whole game was micro the whole time, by the way. Like from feudal age onwards, it was nonstop micro on land and water. One of the hardest games I've had to play, I think.
By the way, you even made every effort to scout with the fishing ships early?
Yeah, and I missed it.
And you missed
always.
it. That was so brutal, man. You
I
were
know.
like a pixel away multiple times. And we're like,
know.
oh, I didn't see it. Oh no. But still was able to wrestle control. Either way, what a fabulous series between the two of you. Undefeated, the only undefeated tournament player in the tournament so far, having to take down your teammate to do so. I don't know if you guys obviously didn't know about this, but it was the battle between 5 heads.
Oh my god, my headset here. Look at that.
Your heads
my
would get
skull.
bigger. Your heads would get bigger the more you would win.
Oh,
And
I
so
see.
for a period there, you had the massive head and Leery had the normal head. And then after the revolution,
That's so good.
well, now I'm going to ask you, Hera, how's it feel being 3-0 right now? Obviously, the goal for you probably at the tail end of group stage is be one of those players that gets that bye to the semi. So, you know, obviously had to take down your buddy here. Leery will have some questions for you, but how you feeling right now? You've had some hard opponents.
Yeah, it feels really good. I think that's an important win for me because now I basically secure a top spot. However, it's not over for me yet. I want to secure the top 1 or 2 because top 1 or 2 go straight
You
to
better win.
Yeah, I have to win now. And top 1 or 2 go straight to semi. So, like going into this tournament, me and Leery said we have to try to get one on either side so we don't face until finals. That's like the ideal scenario. And now it's on to Leery to win a couple and it's on to me to win the next couple.
You do hold that #1 spot, though, which means you kind of have a target on your back now. You've set yourself apart a little bit as a front runner. Leery on the other side, you're still squarely within that top 4 currently. Obviously, even though you dropped the series to him, that puts your Buchholz at quite a solid setting. So every map that Hera wins from here only aids you. You still think you're in the running for one of those top 2 spots in a semifinal bye, though?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, the last 2 days are going to be 2 final days, right? I think there are, like, from what I've seen, 5 players with 2-1. And I think I have the second best Buchholz. So it shouldn't change much. If I win my remaining 2 sets, I should be second. So it's all up on me.
Sweet. Well, again, that was a wild series. I'm sure it was exhausting for the both of you. We had a blast watching it. I don't want to keep you guys too late. And I'm sure that we'll probably... Oh, we're going to stay here. We're going to talk about tomorrow. Oh, us.
I think we
Not
do.
them?
And Nili joined. Oh,
All 4.
okay. That's all he said. He said, you stay there and just
You
walk
stay there.
away.
Yeah, great. Okay, let's talk about tomorrow because we have the matchups already figured out for tomorrow, day 4 of group stage here at NAC 4. We're going to kick it off with Nicov versus Jordan. Jordan got his first set win today. Nicov fell down to TheViper in a tight series. You guys' thoughts there? Jordan had a rough start to the tournament, but has definitely still looked strong even throughout the losses.
I think those are the 2 players that have played the absolute best, considering the results they have. Like they're both 1-2, but they're probably the ones that have shown the most amount of skill and just best games played at 1-2. I think Jordan had a hard start, like Leery and Viper, and Nicov also had to go through Viper. So. Yeah, I think it's an important win for both of those players, to be honest.
From there, we'll follow it up with ACCM versus Vinchester, our 2 winless players still here in the group stage. So essentially an elimination match. There's going to be real serious pressure put on in set number 2.
You go.
Go ahead, Larry.
Elimination match, what else can I say? I mean, it's do or die. I mean, obviously rough, but that's just how the system works.
Yeah, Vinch has lost 3-2 in all 3 of his sets, and in all 3 sets he was up 2-1 at some point. I mean, just heart-wrenching series losses, but he has played his heart out.
Yeah, let's hope for him that streak doesn't continue, right? Because like to see how much work he's put in and how long the sets have been, feels like he deserves to get a win. But then again, I mean, you got ACCM on the other side, man. It's going to be brutal either way.
So from there, Leery, we go to your matchup, 3rd of the day, up against Villese, one of the other players who's kind of locked in the standings alongside you. How you feeling about that one?
I like it. It's kind of like a final match for the top spots. I think he has the best Buchholz out of everyone so far.
Yeah, he's got you beat by 1.
Yeah, so I have some work to do. And yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, from there we go to Mr. Yo versus TaToH. Anyone?
Yeah, you go, Hera.
T90, you got thoughts?
I mean, either way, I'm talking about Hera's match or he's talking about his own match here. So
Well,
sure,
I
I'll
do want
talk
to get
about
his thoughts on his own
I'll talk about
match.
Yo TaToH.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be like the 2 biggest strategists in terms of like some of the crazy things in our scene, and we've seen some of that. So I'm excited. Yo also is a must-watch because every set that he's had has gone 3-2 as well.
Facts.
So he won 2 of them, and then he lost 1 today. So I told him, I was like, I don't know the casting lineup, but I want to cast your sets regardless for the rest of the tourney. He like kind of chuckled, but I think part of him was like, this would be funnier if I just won my series, you know? So, but I think it's really hard to separate those two. And while I don't have the data in front of me, I think they've been pretty 50-50 over the years too.
From there, we close it out. Set number 5, TheViper versus Hera. You have to try and keep your undefeated streak alive up against TheViper, who, after dropping his first set of the tournament, only seems to be getting stronger. How you feeling about that one, Hera?
Yeah, that's probably the most important match for me now, because I think if I win that, my Buchholz should be really strong. So even if I lose the last match in group stage, I should be fine for top 1 or 2. So this one is really important. I'm going to prepare hard and come fresh tomorrow. It's at the end of the day, so I have a long time to prepare. But yeah, I think that's definitely the most important one for me.
Yeah, the good news for you, if you win that right, moving to 4-set wins means you cannot be eclipsed in set wins by anyone else at that point through the group stage. So it would likely come down to a tiebreaker if, in fact, you manage to drop your 5th and final set of the group stage. But either way, that one will be a banger to close things out tomorrow. But with that, Nili, where are we going next? What do you want to do, my friend? He wants to end the show, so we will do just that. Once again, thank you to everybody who's tuned in today for NAC4. Thank you to all the players who put up some incredible series. We'll meet you right back here, same time, same place as before for day 4 of NAC4. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and be good to each other, my friends.
Peace.
Peace out.